It's the biggest birthday celebration of the year, and we're flexing our freedom, surrounding ourselves with what we love. Family, friends, and Texas Rangers baseball.
It is gone!
Decked out in red, white, and blue, we'll root for the home team.
This one is over.
Get ready for fireworks in Arlington. Grab a cold one. It's the nation's pastime, served up by Fox Sports Southwest.
Well, there's nothing quite like it. Celebrating America's birthday with America's pastime, the Astros and Rangers. Everybody decked out in the red, white, and blue. Uh-oh! Somebody's gotten into CJ's wardrobe. And welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you. I'm Dave Raymond alongside our own little Captain America here, CJ Nitkowski. It is a great day for baseball. It's a great day for these two clubs to be out here. We're going to have a huge crowd. And the Rangers hoping to bounce back after a 5-3 loss yesterday. It's been a tough series against the Astros this season for the Rangers. But there were some more positives again from last night's game.
A couple of lefties getting it done for the Rangers. One a little bit older and one very young in both HOU and Guzman. You see what HOU has done. We've talked a lot about the streak. This is now the third longest in team history. But Ronald Guzman has been very impressive at 23 years old. Look what he's done against the Astros. That's certainly some good news. A couple of home runs there. But a great OPS. That batting average on balls in play unbelievably high at 450. So that's certainly a good sign for some Rangers.
Okay, well, we've got our pitcher here. Let's talk a little pitching. Yesterday, we had Austin and Dallas in this series, which is great. Today, coal miner. Let's start with Mike Minor, who is really pitching some of his best baseball right now.
He certainly is, and he looks like he's getting very comfortable right now. Back into the rotation. Of course, it has been a while since, of course, he was a reliever a year ago. But look what he's done over his last three. Now, the Rangers have won all three of these. The opponent's batting average has been unbelievable. Look at the walks and hits per innings pitched. That's a great number as well. And the efficiency, just 14 pitches per inning. Mike Minor has been fantastic over these last two. Let's dig in a little bit and what's been so important for him as he gets comfortable, as he gets deeper in games, his ability to hit spots. He's got the great changeup, uses it well against the righties. Then it's a slider, burying it in, and then of course he'll also throw that front door to lefties. The good curveball. Anytime you get a guy to throw his bat, you know it was a good pitch. But then it's the pinpoint command with the fastball with good velocity. That was a big question coming into this season. He was throwing really hard last year. Would he lose velocity as a starter? Not really. He's done an excellent job.
Yeah, seems like he's getting stronger as we go deeper into this season. Now, part of the coal miner then is Garrett Cole, who has been unbelievable, in particular against the Rangers.
This was a great pickup for the Astros. No two ways about it. You talk about getting a power righty into your rotation. They have done that. It's a big fastball for Garrett Cole, and what he has done against the Texas Rangers so far this year has been pretty remarkable. Nearly 15 strikeouts per nine. You see the really good ERA for him, and so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge here this afternoon. He's got a good slider, and he knows how to pitch. He's been a completely different guy since coming over from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he has been excellent against the Rangers. So that's the challenge in this one for Texas.
Rangers hoping to put an end to a little win streak by the Astros here and maybe get a milestone for Jeff Bannister. In the spotlight with next.
Rangers baseball is sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
America's first flag remains a mystery. The commonly called Betsy Ross flag features 13 stars representing the original U.S. colonies.
The unfurling of the American flag here in Arlington, an absolutely beautiful night for baseball as the F-16s fly overhead from Laughlin Air Force Base in Del Rio as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park. As I mentioned, an absolutely gorgeous evening for baseball here on the 4th of July and a chance for a milestone for one Jeff Bannister as we put him in our Shiner Box spotlight. Here you see he's already in the top 5 in wins as far as Rangers manager history is concerned. He could become the fastest to 300 if he's able to get it here pretty quick, which is news to him.
No, I'm not aware of that.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
No one's told you?
No, and you know what? That would be very humbling to me to be mentioned in that regard. However, it's I look at it this way. I try to manage these baseball games to help these guys win, and never once have I ever looked up at that number. And I guess I just never been a big part of what I think about it.
To be honest, I thought Jeff Bannister was kidding when he said he had not heard that he was approaching 300. In fact, just 1 win shy. And so I must say, guys, he's either a really good actor or he honestly had no clue he was at 299.
Well, it is interesting. What do you think, CJ?
We love round numbers, and obviously anytime you can add to the win total, Jeff Bannister certainly likes that, but you have bigger goals in mind, and when you're in the middle of your career, you're not necessarily thinking about milestones. So I believe that he didn't know, and he certainly wants to win this one and a bunch more.
Yeah, he has a lot of other things on his mind these days, I'm certain, as Mike Minor heads out there. Now, there was a roster move today for the Rangers. It's been a busy couple of days, but last night, Tony Barnett had to come off the field, and today placed on the disabled list with the shoulder strain. And that means that Chris Martin, who was hardly a step out of the clubhouse yesterday, turns right back around and recalled today. He was in the clubhouse ready to go this afternoon. So Rangers, getting a good arm right back. So good news for Chris Martin. That's bad news for Tony Barnett, obviously.
Yeah, we'll get some more information on Tony and see ultimately how significant this injury will be. Now, Chris Martin wasn't gone very long. Does that mean big hugs when he comes back in the clubhouse? Like, man, I haven't seen you since, well, yesterday.
Yeah. Probably not. Probably some confusion among some of the guys. Like, I thought he was, well, I don't know. But he's back, and that's great for Chris, great for the Rangers. Good to have his arm available out of the bullpen later on today. And as CJ mentions, we'll get more information soon on Barnett. Now, the Astros 56-31 coming into play today. My, what a start it has been. Now, looking at their lineup today, George Springer leading it off in center field. Alex Bregman red hot at third base. Jose Altuve at second. Then in the middle of the order, it's Gurriel, Evan Gattis, and Josh Reddick in right field. Marwin Gonzalez at short. Fedorovich catching, and Tony Kemp in left field rounding it out.
And they're going up against Mike Minor today. Here's a look at the pitch arsenal for Mike Minor. What he has used so far this season, and the fastball, it's been a good one. 48% of the time, you'll see the slider, the changeup, the curveball as well. The curveball has probably been the best of the group, even though he doesn't use it nearly as much as a 139 batting average against and 0 home runs allowed on that pitch this season for Mike Minor. It seems to be maybe having some issues with the mound, but while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by New Braunfels Convention and Visitors Bureau. And in your outfield this afternoon, it's going to be Joey Gallo, Delano DeShields, and Nomar Mazara. And in the infield for the Rangers, a last-second change. Jurickson Profar is now playing third. It was supposed to be Adrian Beltre, but he's dealing with a tooth infection. So you got Elvis Andrus, Rougned Odor, Ronald Guzman as well in that infield to go along with Robinson Chirinos. And it does appear that we have a little bit of a delay here. Mike Minor looked like, I don't know if he was hitting and sliding a little bit. He was kind of showing his spikes. There was a lot of mud in there, and those are some pretty beautiful spikes. And so the idea of even getting those dirty, that would bother me.
Yeah, I don't know that it's so much that, but I did see, they signaled into the Astros dugout. Yeah, you can see that clay's a little damp. And one of our crew members ducked down into the dugout, so I don't know exactly where he was headed. Another now heading out to the bullpen in left field. So I think they might be alerting the grounds crew, hey, we need a little help. We need to get this thing straightened out here.
But that does definitely look a little damp, a little slippery.
It can be, and pitchers, understandably so, very particular now. These ballparks around the league are fantastic. These mounds are beautiful. These guys work extremely hard to get it exactly the way that they know their pitchers want it. So I don't know. What happens sometimes in these situations, you water down the mound and you try to gauge, how much time you're going to have, when it's going to dry, and you hope that you get it right. And sometimes you'll overwater, sometimes you'll underwater. You've seen both, right, where they come add water or they try to put some of that diamond dry on it to help dry it up a little bit. And you can see that mark. So I'm guessing for Mike Minor, maybe just a little bit of an issue, either pushing off or maybe landing, either one of those two. And so he'd like to have the ground screw come out and you see that big bag of diamond dry, or probably not the right term. I'm sure they got some better stuff. Now, it actually looks like the clay that they have there. We'll see what they do here. Conditioning clay to go ahead and maybe eat up some of that moisture. Looks like kitty litter. There it is.
It's not kitty litter.
It's not, but
Turfus, like you say, diamond dry. There's all sorts of different products that they use. That looked like just like a straight up. There you go. Oh, it's Diamond Pro.
Oh, of course.
There we go.
Not the minor leagues. It's the big leagues, buddy. So we only have the best here. But yeah, so you'll throw that on there. Just like when you have rain, sometimes it comes down, you throw that on there and it'll suck up the moisture a little bit. Like I said, these guys work their tails off. I'm here sometimes early doing some radio, or I just like to get to the ballpark 7-8 hours early to prep for the game. I know when you're usually at home or finishing up your round of golf. And when I'm doing that, I notice that the ground screw are here. They're working on, they'll work on that mound right after the game, the batter's boxes as well. Then they're here early the next day, making sure that they get everything perfect. And I feel like it's, I should at least stand here and watch them do it. It's the least I could do while you're lowering your handicap.
I'll pretend not to actually hear any of it. We'll ignore your nonsense. That's some pretty quick work. 4th of July. And already an explosive situation here.
Yep, see how Mike Minor's landing in there, just kind of testing it a little bit.
Yeah, but there's pressure on Minor now to say, like, oh, okay, good enough. Like, if he says no, it's not good, then, he's the big fuss budget.
So what's really impressive about the dirt that they put there, or the clay that goes right where you push off and right where you land? That's different than what's on the rest of the mound. And they have those areas, and it's really unbelievable when they get it right. You can mold it perfect. Think about when you're a little kid and you're playing on your little league mounds or in high school, you get those big holes and they're really difficult to work with. You don't get that on a big league mound because of that firmer clay. You can see Minor trying to dig it out in between his spikes. So that tells me it was probably just a little bit too wet. It started clumping up on him. And what happens is essentially it takes away the effect of having those metal spikes. Once it fills up, then you feel like you're almost on ice skates or on regular sneakers, because you don't have the ability for the spike to dig into the ground anymore.
Yeah, that little pad back there that they use to scrape off the bottom of the cleats, and that's a nice firm pad.
Yep.
But you see, it was hardly doing anything.
Yeah.
Compared to what he was doing with that very thick tongue depressor. Hey, come on, that's worthless.
That, you think so? That helps. It all depends on what you're dealing with. It's really good for pretending you're going to fix your spike and then you scuff up the baseball. That's a good little trick from the
little
90s.
Nail sticking out or something.
Yeah.
All right, so Minor says that's good. We're all set. I don't blame him for making sure it's right. And hey, as far as the ground screw goes, that was A, quick work, but B, they might have been preparing for a situation like we had last night. It was 102 degrees at game time yesterday. Emily was saying earlier what a lovely evening it is for baseball. It's 91 degrees. It's so much cooler today. We had a little cloud cover at times. What a beautiful scene here on the 4th of July. America celebrating her 242nd birthday. And the nation hoping to celebrate, the entire country, as I understand it, hoping to celebrate with a Rangers win.
Those spikes are pretty incredible. You see him still working there. And the other issue you run into, not only the physical part of it where you feel like your spikes are getting a little clogged up, but then also the mental part of it. And you're like, oh, am I going to slide when I land? Can I push all the way off the rubber? Is it not going to feel exactly right because maybe there's too much moisture? So you want to make sure you have it right before you throw that first pitch.
Well, his first one is delivered. A little later than scheduled, but up high for a ball to George Springer. 6:15 officially our start time tonight. And our game time temperature, and even 91 degrees. Springer fouls it back, and it's 1-1. Well, Springer has been in a pretty bad way lately offensively. Looked a little better last night as he fouls this one off. But 1 for 3 yesterday. Also walked, was hit by a pitch. Missed 2 of the last 3 games they played in Tampa, and his manager, A.J. Hinch, just trying to get him out of this funk that he's in. Very key guy for the Astros up at the top of the order, but he swings and misses strike 3. So Minor gets a K to start things off this evening.
It looked like the slider from Mike Minor. We highlighted this in our open, his ability to pinpoint this pitch. So important as he tries to neutralize those righties, and you see it catching the inside corner. There's a good look at it. 88 miles an hour. You're not going to throw it in a better spot than that. Good way to start this game off for Mike Minor.
So not quite the opposite. Alex Bregman, who's been very hot. Bregman, the .279 average, but the player of the month in the American League for June. Player of the week as well last week. And he's behind 0-2.
That's interesting right there to be able to get Alex Bregman to go out of the zone. He's the guy who's been very disciplined in that regard. He has been locked in, not only a couple of hits yesterday, but hitting the ball hard for some tough outs as well.
And a swing and a miss. So Bregman strikes out. Minor back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, good start to the game here and good use of the slider by Mike Minor. Mentioned the one before that where he got Bregman to go out of the zone. Well, he actually came back within the zone. Caught it on the inner third to finish him off. Sliders looked really sharp here so far.
Well, 2 quick outs, and now Jose Altuve, third in the league right now, the .334 average, and he goes after the first pitch. Drives it out to center, but DeShields gets back there and hauls it in right at the wall, and it's a 1-2-3. Top of the first inning for Mike Minor. And now here come the Rangers. Rangers 38-48 and our Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Shin-Soo Choo leading it off as the DH. Elvis Andrus at shortstop and Nomar Mazara in right field. Then it's Profar at third. Rougned Odor in the lineup at second base. Robinson Chirinos catching. The bottom of the order, Gallo, Guzman, and Delano DeShields in center.
And for the Rangers, they're going up against Gerrit Cole. They are familiar with him. It's been some really good work that he has done against the Rangers so far this season. Here's the pitch arsenal for Cole. 45% usage on the fastball. The slider has been very good. Curveball, some two-seamers, an occasional changeup, but all of his pitches across the board. This is pretty unbelievable. Every single one of them has a below 200 batting average against. There is not a weakness in that pitch arsenal right now for Gerrit Cole.
So he is set and gets his evening started with the first pitch to HOU. Popped up. Foul ground, third base side, and that one will end up a souvenir. Strike one on HOU, the DH tonight. Working on that 43-game on-base streak, and he was the Rangers Player of the Month. You see the average and the OPS very high. Those 15 home runs, most ever in his career prior to the All-Star break. So HOU getting on, but he's also hitting with more power than ever before. And he takes low, 1-1. The on base for HOU coming into play today, 398. Fifth best in the American League. Hits this one high in the air out to center field. That one carrying well. Back to the wall. Springer had just enough room. One away.
You see George Springer kind of talking about chasing this ball down. It was high in the air, and he took a little bit of an unusual route. We know he is a great athlete and could run, but this thing was high. You're going to see him kind of a little bit of a banana route, then find it and square up and eventually make the catch. But this was not as easy as it looked. You see Springer with the glasses on there, battling that sun, which is in and out on a partly cloudy day here. I keep saying this afternoon, it feels like it's the middle of the afternoon, but we're in the 6 o'clock hour. I guess this is technically a night game.
It is technically a night game, but I'm with you. It does feel a little more like a day game. Of course, you were out here 7 or 8 hours ago, apparently. As the pitch to Elvis Andrus misses for ball 1. A different person might suggest that you need to get a hobby. There's a swing and a miss. So Cole, in his 3 starts against the Rangers this year, has thrown 20 innings. He's walked 7, but he's struck out 33, and he's allowed just 4 runs. And he has been a very tough customer for the Rangers, and that's, I mean, basically in line with what he has done to the rest of the league. He's a very good pitcher. 9-2 this year, and a .250 earned run average. But he falls behind 3-1 to Elvis Andrus.
Yeah, it really has been incredible to see what he has done here. First time around in the American League, the trade from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and a guy who kind of technically slides in as their number 4 starter, but pitching more like their number 2.
Lazy fly ball to center. Springer, much easier route to that one, 2 away.
Let's take a look at the Astros defense, which is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Tony Kemp, George Springer, and Josh Reddick in that outfield for Houston, and in the infield it's Alex Bregman, Marwin Gonzalez, Jose Altuve, and Yuli Gurriel in the infield with Tim Fedorovich behind the plate. The issues they have right now here for the Houston Astros, Brian McCann went on the DL 2 days ago. Max Stassi, the backup catcher, got hit with a pitch. He did not go on the DL, but he is not playing today and probably taking at least a day or 2 to recover. And so, yeah, really tapping into their catching depth.
Courageous effort on your part to say Fedorovich's name. I was very, very pleased.
Fedorovich.
Yeah.
That will be the last time I probably say it today. I like to go. I'm more on a first name basis with Tim.
Well, you can call him the backstop catcher. Fedorovich is going to get a little bit of time behind the plate. He's going to share the time, of course, but Gaddis, for those wondering, will Evan Gaddis do a little more catching? Well, AJ Hinch was asked directly about that today before the game. He said, no, probably not. There's strike 3 called, and Mazzara down looking, completes a 1-2-3 for Garrett Cole. So both starters look sharp out of the gate tonight.
is Senior Chief Michael Lake, giving a shout out to all my family and friends in Lake Dallas, Texas, and the surrounding area. Go Texas Rangers!
On this Independence Day, USAA honors those who have served and all of our service members at home and abroad. Happy July 4th. As we welcome you back in, both starters looked really good in the first inning. Minor out there for a second inning, but while we were in commercial, Garrett Cole got to say his piece about the mound as he brought the crew out, our umpiring crew out there to the mound. So, well, come here, I'll show you. See?
Yep, just kind of saying where he's hitting and sliding a little bit is what the issue is. Now, even that last breaking ball that he threw to Nomar Mazara was not exactly where he wanted it, and so he felt like his release point got a little bit out of whack because of the way that he was landing and maybe not having the ability to really plant that front leg firmly when you hit. Talk about pitching and hitting with your front leg getting out over your front knee. It's very important, and I felt like he probably didn't have exactly what he wanted in that spot. And the breaking ball was hung up in the zone a little bit, but it was a called strike 3, and so that probably initiated that conversation for Garrett Cole.
Now we'll see how Minor likes it, or if after this inning,
put it back the other way.
Wait a minute. Why do you do whatever he wants? Gurriel leading it off, and he takes a strike 1 and 1 the count. Gurriel at .293 for the year with 4 home runs, 38 RBIs. It's a treat to see him at the plate with nobody on base in front of him. We saw him last night in a couple spots, RBI situations, where he has been dynamite this year for the Astros. So this time around, leading it off. And Minor's 1-2 pitch lofted out to right. Mazara goes back. And has just enough room back there. So the ball's carrying a little bit tonight, but 1 away here in the second.
That is 3 warning track fly balls that we have seen. That one there really more of a line drive, but some hard hit balls that have been caught right in front of the wall. 3 of them so far in just over an inning.
Well, and here's Hagrid. Evan Gaddis, the designated hitter, just released from Azkaban, and he takes ball 1. Gaddis, .249 average, 17 homers, and then you see his 56 RBIs, most on the team, 6th in the American League. And a little chopper down to third base. Nice high hop for Profar, and he throws out Gaddis 2 away. Time for our Rocket Mortgage breakdown by Quicken Loans. Rangers defense been really good lately. Since June 1st, they have tightened things up appreciably. Just 12 errors. That's 5th fewest in baseball. Whereas up until that point, the 50 errors from opening day through May was the most. And they have not made an error in the last 6 games.
That's good to see. You want to see those little things happening over the course of the season. You have some areas in which you struggle early. The error is one of them. Of course, we know about some of the swing and miss in this lineup as well. And so you want to see some progression after a slow start, both defensively and offensively.
Ground ball, that one through by Reddick. And so the first base runner of the evening for either team is Josh Reddick. Marwin Gonzalez switch hitting shortstop.
Something to keep an eye on with Mike Minor. One of the areas in which he has struggled a little bit so far this season. On first pitches, he's allowed a .459 batting average. That's number 1, the highest average in the American League for any pitcher that's faced at least 30 batters that have put the first pitch in play. Now the Astros as a team aren't as aggressive. They're hitting .316, which sounds like a high number, right, on 0-0 counts. So that's pretty high. It's only 21st in Major League Baseball. I know you know who's leading. That would be your Texas Rangers, hitting .397 on the first pitch of an at-bat this season.
Let's be swinging, boys. Now with 2 away, a little inside. Minor falls behind 2-0. I mean, it just sounds like, when you give me those numbers.
Yeah.
It just seems like, well,
forget all the analytics. Just go up there and look for a good pitch on that first pitch and get after it.
There's only 2 teams that are hitting under 300 on first pitches. And in a day and age where batting average has been a huge issue in the game, where it's way down, historically low, yeah, you would think the idea of getting aggressive early might be a smart play. Now, of course, if more guys are swinging at those first pitches, the numbers will come down. But it's pretty interesting to see what's happening around the league and historically what has happened if you swing at that first strike that you see and put it in play.
You're pretty fancy with all your computer stuff and whatnot.
That's right.
What would the on-base percentage be for anything after the first pitch in Major League Baseball versus, you know, the on-base average for the, let's say, I guess, or just the batting average on the first pitch, right?
After first pitch?
Right.
So I can do like after 0-1 or after 1-0.
So it seems to me, I mean, generally speaking, on-base average, Major League on-base average is around, what, just shy of 320?
Usually.
So I guess if baseball hits an aggregate against the first pitch, what does Major League Baseball hit against first pitch?
Well, first of all, so the league on base percentage you're asking just in general is 317 so far this year in Major League Baseball. The batting average on 0-0 counts, first pitches, is 335.
Okay, so clearly this working counts and trying to get on base, it's a flawed concept. Liner to third, Profar hauls it in, and the inning is done. I can't believe I've figured it all out already.
The defense continues to get it done. We just talked about it. A line shot here to Jerks and Profar, and does a nice job. The ball hit right to him, just a little bit to his left, and the glove work continues.
We go to the bottom of the second. Profar, Odor, and Chirinos, part of the order, due for the Rangers in this second inning. Garrett Cole looked pretty sharp in the first, and he jumps ahead of Profar 0-1. Jerkson hitting .240. Initially was in the lineup today at second base, batting a little further down in the order. And Adrian Beltre, a late scratch, and that one inside and got Profar on the foot. Again.
And a breaking pitch again.
Unbelievable.
A game that Charlie Morton started against the Rangers. Jerkson got hit 3 times. The second time, or that was the first, but he's now happened twice where he's gotten hit 3 times in a game. And he's smiling because it's a breaking ball. He knows there's no intent, but it's pretty unbelievable. And he's even trying to get out of the way. It's not like he's leading out over the plate, not making an effort. I mean, it's just a breaking ball that catches him on the left foot.
So the 10th time this year that Profar has been hit by a pitch. It's the 54th time that a Rangers hitter has been hit. Well, they'll take the free runners. Profar is on. He does have good speed. 6 steals this year and 6 tries. Or maybe that not so much about his speed as is his base running prowess. Is the pitch to Odor in there for a strike.
Well, there could be an opportunity here. Garrett Cole has allowed 10 stolen bases so far this season. That is the 6th most in the American League. And then, of course, we have already talked about the catching situation. So there may be an opportunity to run.
High strike. Count 0-2 on Odor. Cole has allowed 27 stolen bases since the beginning of last year, 3rd most in Major League Baseball. The Rangers have been successful in their last 10 stolen base attempts. So we shall see. The 0-2 very high.
So continuing with that first pitch batting average conversation. This guy right here, Rougned Odor. The batting average is certainly starting to climb back up after a slow start. 236 overall. First pitch this year, he's hitting 333. I mean, the numbers are pretty amazing. Now, you can't just swing at every first strike, but it's pretty incredible.
Profar running, and there's no throw offered. He has his 7th stolen base of the year. Meanwhile, the pitch missed to even things up at 2-2. That was a huge jump.
It certainly was. No contest here, and that's why there's no throw. And now you see the frustration there on the face of Garrett Cole. Watch his jump, little flinch at first, but just an easy stolen base for Jurickson Profar. I mean, and on a fastball and a pretty good pitch to handle.
Rangers were 1 for 7 yesterday with runners in scoring position. And Odor swings and misses. They will throw him out at first on the wild pitch. 1 away. Well, Rangers fans, download the Fox Sports Go app and take Rangers baseball with you wherever you go. If you can't catch the games live on TV, that's okay. Still stream them live on your mobile device with the Fox Sports Go app, presented by Coors Light. Cole with his 2nd strikeout of the night to get Odor. Profar still out there at 2nd now for Robinson Chirinos. Chirinos 6 for 18 on this homestand with a couple of home runs, 2 doubles. He's driven in 9. So Chirinos really in a pretty good groove at the moment, although he was 0 for 4 in last night's game. He takes 1-1. Robinson with really pretty respectable power, the 11 home runs. Last night ended his hitting streak at 6 games, and he had extra base hits in all 6 of those. But he's in a hole now, 1-2. And strikeouts have been a big story this year for Chirinos. His 91 strikeouts so far this year are 9th most in the American League. Hooks this one down the line. That's a base hit. Profar rounds 3rd. He'll score easily. And it's another extra base hit for Chirinos. The RBI double makes it Rangers 1, Astros nothing.
A great swing here from Robinson Chirinos in a big spot with a runner in scoring position. There's a good look at the breaking ball grip. That one stayed middle in. He was actually trying to go away, and that's an excellent job by Robbie to get the barrel to that ball, hit it hard down the line. An easy RBI with Jurickson Profar at 2nd base. Alex Bregman's got no shot at getting to that pitch. Now he's positioned in the right spot, because if Garrett Cole throws that pitch where he wants, more middle away, that ground ball is probably not going to be down the line. Chirinos has been good in those spots, hitting 280 this year with runners in scoring position.
So Gallo now with a man at 2nd. He takes a heater right down the middle.
All right, so I promise not to do this to you the entire game. You want to be blown away by what Joey Gallo is hitting on first pitches?
Yes.
472.
That's just kooky talk.
4 home runs, 14 RBI. He's got the most at-bats where he's put the ball in play on the first pitch. And it matters, too, because against Garrett Cole, it's been a little bit of an issue. As good as he has been this year, he has allowed 6 home runs on the first pitch of an at-bat this season. You see right here, he's tied for the most in Major League Baseball. So if you're going to get him, good strikeout pitchers, not uncommon. Got to get to them early.
Stays 0-2. Gallo has the average at 194 this year, but 20 home runs. Yesterday, pinch hit late in the game and turned in one incredible at bat. Ended up walking. Well, it was really just a fantastic effort in a big situation yesterday. 8th inning, helping to load the bases. Well, the Rangers would not cash in a real substantial way. 0-2 pitch, and he swings and misses. So 3rd strikeout for Cole. 2 away.
It's a good job by Garrett Cole to go out of the zone in this 0-2 count. He certainly knows Joey Gallo well, and there is that slider down and in. Might have been a curveball. He throws that curveball. It's a little bit more of a knuckle curve grip, and so it's pretty firm on the velocity.
Here's Ronald Guzman, and that one a little bit in for a ball. Ronald had a couple of hits in yesterday's game, including a double. He just come off the 7-day concussion list. Again, takes in 2-0.
We saw this yesterday with Dallas Keuchel, even though he's left-handed. We saw Rondon do the same thing to Guzman, where good hard fastball in off the plate seems to be part of the game plan for the Astros against the rookie Guzman.
2-1 the count. There's Keuchel. Pitched well last night. 7 strong innings to pick up his 5th victory of the year. Guzman swings right through that breaking ball, and it's 2-2. Cole breaks away for a moment. Look back there at Chirinos. Right before doing so, swing and a miss, and another strikeout. Cole strikes out the side in the 2nd, but he allows the first run of the game to score. Rangers lead at 1-0 after 2.
In Arlington, it is time for our progressive fan of the game, and this one a real feel-good story. We've got Jen Walker and Melanie Connor, and Jen, you gave a pretty significant gift to Melanie a couple of weeks ago. Can you tell me about it?
Yes, 2 weeks ago today, I donated my kidney to Melanie.
And you did not even know her. You decided you were going to be a kidney donor and went with it, and then how did you guys get connected?
After I got approved to be a kidney donor, I posted on Facebook saying that I had been approved and was just waiting for a match. That's when a mutual friend reached out to us and said, hey, I know somebody, would you consider donating to her? So I said, sure, you know. They shot me over her information, gave her a text, and we kind of went from there.
So you perfectly healthy, no reason, no attachment to her, you just decided you wanted to donate a kidney. You guys got hooked up. What was this gift like for you, Melanie, and how are you 2 weeks post-operation? You guys both look amazing.
This has been an incredible experience, life-changing, obviously. The first week was rough, but the second week's been great, and I'm a dedicated Rangers fan, so that's why I'm here.
2 weeks out, and you guys have become friends. You want to celebrate many milestones together, and we're glad you started here with us tonight on the 4th of July. So, Jen, we're going to give this one to you since you're the one who gave up the kidney. How about it?
Thank you.
Thanks, you girls.
Wow. That's a pretty amazing story. As Fedorovich takes low, and he walks to start the 3rd inning. So the Astros had their second base runner of the night. Reddick had the single in the second, but Fedorovich leading off the 3rd here, getting on base, and it brings up Tony Kemp. Kemp had a pretty good night last night, 1 for 2 with a home run. And he's showing bunt.
And one of just 2 lefties that Mike Minor will face in this Astros lineup, and that's significant. He has been much better against righties as of late, but overall this season, been very good against lefties. 237, 255 against righties, also a respectable number for a left-handed starter.
Bouncer wide of the bag down there at first base, 1-1. They're good numbers for Kemp overall, and you see the last 10 starts hitting .419. You know, they put him in the bottom of the order, and when hitting 9th this season, he's got a .370 batting average. Lofts this one out to center field. The Shields gets right underneath it, and there's one away. The Cleveland Indians and the Texas Rangers on the next homestand. That will be until July 21st. 7:05 game. First 15,000 fans to the ballpark are going to get an Elvis Andrus Best Friends bobblehead, courtesy of Dr. Pepper and Tom Thumb. It's the second in a series of 2 Best Friends bobbleheads. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Elvis, his best buddy, not in the lineup today. Tooth infection for Adrian Beltre. And he was scratched right before the game as Springer swings and misses at strike 1. Springer on this road trip for the Astros, just 1 hit so far. 1-1.
And a good opportunity here, even though Springer's a pretty good runner. Check out the Astros this year. They have grounded into 83 double plays. That's the most in Major League Baseball. You see the Rangers there 22nd with their 56. This is on the offensive side, and again, Springer a good runner, but he has actually grounded into 10 double plays this season. It's 3rd most on the Astros.
That's this one foul. 1-2 the count.
Just a loud strike.
Yep.
What was fascinating about that number for me, obviously the Astros offense is really good, but they have hit into the most double plays in the game, but they have the 4th lowest ground ball percentage as an offense in the game. So it's not like they hit a lot of ground balls. It just seems like they've been hitting them at inopportune times, and opposing defenses have turned them into double plays. It's a pretty stark contrast. You think about how little they actually hit the ball on the ground, but how many double plays have been turned against them.
Well, what I think that stat sometimes says, right, is I remember a couple of years ago the Cardinals were in the, this was many years ago actually, the Cardinals were like in the World Series or something. I heard somebody going on and on about it, how they hit so many ground ball double plays. I thought, well, yeah, because they have a lot of base runners.
Good way to look at it.
Swing and a miss, and Springer strikes out for the second time. That's 3 strikeouts so far today from Mike Minor. Now Minor, you start looking at his numbers against right-handed hitters. Our Kubota power stats, last 2 starts, right-handed hitters 1 for 28 against him with a couple of walks and 6 punch-outs.
Well, that's significant when you're facing a team like the Astros, who have been very good against left-handed pitching. This guy right here, Alex Bregman, has been solid against lefties, hitting .299 against them this year. But overall, as you start looking at this heavy right-handed lineup, especially at the top, those big bats, there are some really solid numbers against lefties. And so it's good to see that Mike Minor has been doing a really nice job against those righties lately, and that challenge will continue in this game, because he's got some really good right-handers to contend with.
A little bit in, 1-1 to Alex Bregman. I mentioned Bregman had a couple of hits in yesterday's game. His hitting streak now at 8 games. And it hasn't just been, you know, base hits, doubles, that sort of thing. He's homered in 5 of the last 8 games in which he has played. And just holds off on that one, 2-1.
Well, we saw him swing at a pitch out of the zone in his first at bat, but look at this here for Alex Bregman. His chase percentage much better than a year ago at just 19%. That'll put him in the top 10 in all of Major League Baseball. He has been extremely disciplined in what he does, his approach at the plate, and that's part of the reason why he has seen such positive results over the past month or so. It's a great skill set to have, and it's one I think that becomes appreciated even more so in today's game based on the tendencies that we have. A lot of free swingers, big swingers. You start to get hitters like Chu, who's done it for years, Alex Bregman starting to become one of the better ones in the game. Your ability to recognize pitches out of a pitcher's hand and whether or not it's going to be a strike.
This ball hit hard down the left field line, foul. Full count on Bregman. Bregman more walks than strikeouts this year, unless he strikes out here, because he struck out in the first inning, and a strikeout here would make that number even. He has 49 walks this year, 6th most in the American League, and now 48 strikeouts. Not another long at bat for him. This will be the 7th pitch from Minor. There goes the runner. The pitch is in the dirt. And that's ball 4. So a 2-out walk. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Rick Renner.
Big question America's asking today on this 4th of July. I have no idea. It's a pretty good chance, but nothing that sticks out.
You have no idea. You would definitely remember.
Maybe you don't remember your failures too much. You remember the big home runs that you let up. I mean, and that was a situation where a pitcher, I don't remember who was pitching in that game, threw over to first, and then he stole home that way. Right? It was a throw over, and then he took off, and it was a really good slide, and he was able to score on it. So it wasn't a straight steal of home in the sense that he was taking off with the pitch. I don't think so. Not that I could think of, unless it was just a double steal that got botched.
Couple of base runners, Fedorovich and Bregman, but 2 out in the inning.
Altuve flying out in the first inning, 0 for 1. Big swing and a miss there. Now he is our TXU Energy power player to watch in tonight's game. And Altuve, a lot of ways you can look at his numbers. The only player with 1,000 hits since the start of 2013. He's been a little bit of a machine for the Astros since coming up. And a little bouncer down to third base. Profar able to step on the bag and put on Fedorovich, and the inning is done. So Minor had to throw some pitches, but he takes us to the bottom of the third, 1-0.
This 4th of July, we celebrate America. On July 4th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress met in Philadelphia to adopt the final version of the Declaration of Independence.
Happy Independence Day as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Rangers with a 1-0 lead. Delano to Shields to start things off here with the third inning. Then Chu and Andrews. Garrett Cole, 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings for him. Right-hander, a little high to Delano for ball 1.
So there's been some struggles for Delano this year against righties, especially ones with good sliders and breaking balls the way that Garrett Cole has. Just 195 against those righties this year, which makes you wonder if there'd be maybe that opportunity or desire to want to bunt for a hit. That certainly has been a strong suit for Delano this year. He's got 9 of those. That's tied for the most in Major League Baseball. Bregman playing in, but there's maybe an opportunity for a push bunt on the right side. You see how they're lined up defensively. Get one past Garrett Cole. That's a base hit.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count, so pretty much eliminates that opportunity now. And Cole may just be one of those guys, right? A little harder to bunt on.
No doubt, no doubt. But he's also so good with the swing and miss. And, I think we've seen Delano a little bit expand the zone against right-handers. Those breaking balls that are moving away have been just a little bit of an issue. And so you wonder, and it's tough, no doubt, because he has the hard fastball. He's not afraid to throw up in the zone. That's also a really tough pitch to bunt. I mean, listen, he's tough to hit. No two ways about it. But I just wonder at some point in this game if we'll see Delano take a shot at it.
Little bouncer right back to Garrett Cole. Whoa, the shot put a little high, but Gurriel able to bring it back. 1 away. So that turns the lineup over. Time now for our WinStar leaderboard as Chu heads to the plate. And look at Chu's walks so far this year, 56 of them before the All-Star break, and where that has him in Rangers single season history. Toby Harris, 78 walks before the All-Star break in 1985. That's an awfully big number.
That's amazing.
Two flat out of the first inning, 0 for 1.
So he is the king of our first pitch batting average this season. HOU is, and we've seen him be aggressive early in counts. We've seen him also work really deep at bats. But when he has gone hacking early, when he has put the ball in play, the first pitch at him at bat, he is hitting .529.
Puts this ball high in the air out to left field. That ball up in the wind. It is carrying, and it is gone. 16th home run of the year for HOU. And the Rangers lead 2-0.
So impressive to watch what HOU has done, because he's not just getting on base, but he has been slugging as well. Look at a good look here. That's a four-seam fastball. It's up in the zone. Garrett Cole is trying to get that first strike against HOU, and he's not going to wait around. Even though it's up and away, it's not an easy pitch to square up at 96 miles an hour, but HOU does exactly that and drives it out the opposite way. That's incredible at bat against Garrett Cole.
443 feet. A no-doubter for HOU. Came on a 2-0 pitch. Now Elvis lifts this one out to left field. Kemp ranging toward the line. He can't get there. Drops in for a base hit. And Andrus is on. Well, good start to this third inning. HOU with the home run, which, by the way, stretches that on-base streak now to 44 games, second longest in Rangers history. And now just 2 short of Julio Franco. Elvis, meanwhile, it's an 8-game hitting streak with that single. Mazzara struck out looking in the first. He's 0 for 1. So let's see, 3 hits in this one so far for the Rangers. Mazzara high in the air out to left field, and Kemp will have all the time he needs to get in position. 2 away. Well, Rangers fans, your vote is needed. If Adrian Beltre, Shin-Soo Choo, Nomar Mazzara, if anybody going to make the All-Star game, you're going to have to get on there and get it done. Go to TexasRangers.com/vote and cast your ballot for whomever you want to be in the Midsummer Classic. Fans who vote 25 times or more will also receive a 25% discount on Beltre, Choo, and Mazzara merchandise through tomorrow. Voting ends Thursday at 11 p.m. So log on and get those votes in. Saying 3 hits so far for the Rangers tonight. That's the most they have had in a Garrett Cole start.
It's amazing. This is his 4th start, right, against the Rangers this season. Like you said, you can't feel too bad. He's done it to the rest of the league as well. Came into this game with a 173 batting average against. That was tied for best in the game with Max Scherzer. And it really hasn't mattered, lefties or righties. Lefties hitting 170, righties hitting 175. The home runs have been split up even with that HOU home run. Now it's been 7 to lefties and 7 to righties.
This is low. 2 balls, no strikes on Profar, who he hit with a pitch back in the 2nd inning. And it was the 10th time this year that Profar has been hit by a pitch. Fedorovich and Cole trying to come to an agreement here. 3rd choice apparently suitable for Garrett Cole, and the 2-0 pitch way inside all the way to the backstop. And I feel like sensing a little frustration on the part of Garrett Cole. Andrus advances. We'll see if that's a pass ball or a wild pitch. Looked like it hit the glove of Fedorovich.
Well, it's not like him to miss spots this badly. It's a 2-seam fastball. He tried to throw a Well, I don't know if he was trying to throw a front door two seam. The pitch ended up being way in. I guess they were actually trying to go away. So he got around that pitch and actually cut it to some degree. And Jurickson Profar on the other side is going, really? Like, you almost hit me again?
That was a wild pitch. That one is apparently on the corner.
That's tough. I mean, you see it so often. 3-0 count. Like, let's say it time and time again. An umpire is not making that strike call on an 0-2 count. He's doing it on a 3-0 count. That's unfortunate for Jurickson Profar.
That's a good pitch there to make it a full count now on Profar. Andrews out there in scoring position. The Rangers with a run this inning on the Chu homer. They got a run last inning on a Chirinos double. The payoff. And this one into right field. That's a base hit. Andrews around third, and it's bobbled out there by Reddick. No throw offered. RBI single by Profar, and it's 3-0 Rangers.
Good for Jurickson Profar for coming up big. He's been very good with runners in scoring position this year. 276 on the season, and this is now his 37th RBI in those spots. And here's a breaking pitcher, Garrett Cole, that stayed up in the zone. Look at that swing, nice and level, head down, smokes his ball to right field. So much so that you mentioned Reddick. I think there would have been a play at home, and he had that ball. At least it hit his glove before Elvis Andrews got to third base. And as good of a runner as Elvis is, we know Reddick's an excellent defender with a good, strong arm. So there may have been a play, but as soon as he bobbled that and it kicked away from him, obviously no chance to get Elvis.
So a chance now for Rugi, who struck out in the second inning. I mean, 3-0, 3 runs on 4 hits. Both of those numbers season highs for the Rangers against Garrett Cole. And I suppose it's worth pointing out that Cole's last start was at Tampa Bay. Not really his best. Did go 6 innings, but he walked 3, allowed 3 runs. Suffered just his second loss. Quite a different night tonight for the Rangers against him than had been in the previous 3 starts this year.
It's one of the toughest. Yeah, well, it's one of the toughest things to do in our game, and with heavy divisional play, it's just part of baseball where you're facing the same lineup multiple times over the course of a season. You think about not getting to the All-Star break and seeing a good amount of the same hitters for Garrett Cole, 4th time. I don't care how good you are. That presents a really big challenge. He doesn't quite seem his sharpest tonight, so you take the combination of a lot of these Rangers hitters having seen him already this year multiple times, and then him being a little bit off, and this is the result. Some comfortable swings here from the Rangers hitters.
I'm telling you, the body language though between Cole and Fedorovich to me is speaking volumes. Fedorovich with the head cocked at times. Cole frustrated, shaking his head. They are absolutely in disagreement over how to approach these guys, and it's not just that moment right there. This has been fairly consistent, especially in this 3rd inning. A quick mound visit. And those two figure out how they want to handle it now. 1-1. And this one ripped by first. That one down into the right field corner. Profar got a good jump. He's into third. Beasley's going to wave him. Here comes the relay throw. No, it's going to head to third base. Odor scoots back to second. An RBI double. And it's 4-0 Rangers.
As frustrated as Garrett Cole might be, without a doubt he threw the pitch that he wanted to throw, and more often than not it's about execution and not pitch selection. And Rougned Odor all over this pitch. His 10th double of the season. There's a good look at the breaking ball, but look at it sitting right in the middle of the plate, just like we saw with Jurickson Profar. It had nothing to do with pitch selection, everything to do with location. This ball is smoked into the right field corner. Great job of base running by Jurickson Profar, and Rugi gets back to second easily as that throw went to third.
So Chirinos, who had the RBI double in the second inning, takes ball 1. Long inning for Cole, continuing in this third. 2-0. How about this? Fedorovich, in the span of 3 pitches, making now a second mound visit. There's Max Stassi, who was behind the plate, started yesterday's game. He never technically got behind the plate because he got hit by a pitch and gave way to Fedorovich. He's going to be okay. The news they got today was generally positive, but they're going to be without the services of their primary catcher, Brian McCann, for better than a month at least. 2-1 the count on Chirinos. He had arthroscopic surgery on the right knee today, and they said it looked okay. They cleaned it up a little bit, but AJ Hinch said, you know, usually those things it's at least a month. He said, I think in this case it's going to be, you know, in excess of that. Could be a little while.
The other part of that too, you talk about recovery time. The older you get, obviously the more difficult it becomes, and so all recoveries are not the same. You talk about a younger player and also the position as a catcher and how important your knees are. So a lot of different factors.
A little chin music there to Chirinos. His full count as that one gets away, and Odor makes it to third.
So I thought you brought up a really good point as far as how uncomfortable Garrett Cole looks and what is happening as far as the game calling and getting on the same page with Fedorovich. But the reality is he's just not comfortable at all. So sometimes when you're not feeling good, we saw first of all dealing with the mound in the first inning, missing some location, and it's kind of steamrolled here a little bit. He just hasn't been able to stop it. And when you're in these kind of spots, the idea of trying to slow yourself down and just hit a spot is what you want to be able to do. But I think what we're seeing is Garrett Cole trying to power his way through this and overthrowing a little bit.
Well, that last ball 4 to Chirinos, also a passed ball to get Odor to third base, and there's ball 1 very wide of the plate to Gallo. Gallo struck out of the second, 0 for 1. Chance here with men on the corners. Hits this ball on the ground down to first, and that one tied up Gurriel, but he's able to recover just in time. Altuve was there to back him up, and the inning is done, but the Rangers add to their lead. It's 4-0.
That was a good inning for the Rangers. It started with Chu hitting that solo home run with 1 out, then Elvis Andrus with the base hit, Jurickson Profar with a base hit, and then the double from Rougned Odor as the Rangers put it together against Garrett Cole.
Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer today. 3 innings in, and the Rangers off to a real nice start. 4-0 our score. Mike Minor looking for a quicker inning here in the 4th through 22 pitches last inning. But just got a little more run support here. The old shutdown inning, you like to call it, as he goes after Gurriel with strike 1. Second time tonight that Gurriel is leading off an inning. Shoots this one out to right center field. That one gets down. Cut off by the Shields. Gurriel going for 2, and he's in there with a leadoff double.
Well, that's impressive from Gurriel. Elvis is trying to sneak that tag on him, even though he called timeout. Bleeding, but Gurriel has been a really good hitter here, and you get a good look at the 4-seam fastball grip and not trying to do too much. That one cut back over the plate a little bit, but instead of trying to get pull happy, you see him stay with it and just keep that head down and go ahead and drive that ball to right center field. Some good base running as well there from Gurriel.
So he's out there for Evan Gattis, who grounded out in the 2nd inning. A little inside. Gattis been the big RBI guy for Houston this year. Trying to bounce back just a little bit this season. Last year hit 12 home runs. Bit of a down year from the year prior when he hit 32. Pops this one foul back behind the plate. 1-1 the count. Of course, last year was dealing with a handful of injuries. The concussion, a wrist injury, cost him some time. This year he has gone back to being very productive again with the 17 home runs and the 56 RBIs. He's got Gurriel out there at second base. Minor's 1-1. Strike 2. Now, when you look at some of these Astros hitters and how they are doing with runners in scoring position, Gurriel the best in the league at .412. But there's Evan Gattis. I mean, only 6th best on this team, but he's had so many opportunities. A .318 average, that's pretty good. About 50 points or 60 points better than his overall average. Usually he's done a pretty good job this year bringing home those guys out there for a very potent Astros offense.
So it makes him so tough. You start getting into the middle of this lineup, and obviously George Springer's a good hitter leading off, but he struggled a little bit as of late. But once you get to 2, 3, 4, and 5, it has been amazing what those guys have done in those spots where they have opportunities to drive in runs. 40 RBIs with runners in scoring position for Evan Gattis so far this season.
This one goes foul. Stays 2-2. Gattis without a hit so far in the series. 0 for 4. He did walk once yesterday. Two balls and 2 strikes.
The umpires even got the American flag mask on. That's pretty cool.
High pop up. Short left field. Andrews. Long run.
Wow.
And you can tell the wind was moving that one around.
Well, high five as Elvis is smiling about it, as he always does. When that ball was first hit, and Elvis has obviously seen a lot of pop-ups in this ballpark. I think he thought he had a beat on it. He's seen that one before, but the wind continued to take it. It really just kind of started gusting right before the pitch, and it just continued to carry into the seats. I think he thought that was likely going to be an out when it was hit.
Gattis stays alive, 2-2. Runner getting drawn into another long at bat here with Gattis. Another souvenir. The Astros have had their way in this series this year. Astros have taken 11 of the 15 games, but they've also won 7 in a row, which matches the longest streak in this series history. 2-2 pitch, bouncer down to first. That'll be handled by Guzman, one away, but Gurriel now just 90 feet away at third. Well, we're inviting you to take home a little bit of snow this July. The first 15,000 fans to the ballpark on Friday, July 20th. Get this celebration snow globe courtesy of Powerade and Kroger. It's the Indians and Rangers, a 7:05 game. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS.
I'd like to be in that snow globe right now. Boy, didn't that look just cool and refreshing?
Well, not to Bartolo, man. Once again,
How is he
with the hoodie.
That?
Josh Reddick.
Come on.
Yeah, he's got to stay warm, man.
It's really amazing.
We noticed this about a week ago. I don't know why he's been doing that. Reddick reaches out and fouls this one away. 0-2 the count. Well, starting in right field tonight, Reddick hitting .262 for the year. He had a big home run in last night's game, as well as an RBI double. Big part of the 5-3 Astros win. And he takes the ball here, 1-2.
So very similar to that pitch was. I know it's a left-handed pitcher compared to a righty in Garrett Cole, but remember the 3-0 pitch that got called on Jurickson Profar. Ultimately got a base hit in that bat, so everything went fine. But that 0-2 pitch was pretty close. But again, you're just not going to get it called in an 0-2 count the way you would in a 3-0 count.
Two and two. Trino sets up away. And that's exactly where it ended up. Full count.
By the way, the 4 runs that the Rangers have scored off of Garrett Cole, it ties season high. He has allowed 4 runs in 2 other starts so far this season. This is his 18th start. He's had 8 games where he's allowed 1 earned run or less this year. That's how dominant he has been, which makes what the Rangers have done this afternoon, this evening, all the more impressive.
Reddick hits this one well out to right field. Gone. 8th of the year for Reddick, and the 2nd time he's left the yard in this series. He has the Astros on the board. It's now a 4-2 game.
Josh Reddick gets a breaking ball here, and it turned into a good at-bat after he was down 0-2. And so Mike Minor in a full count wanted to go to a strike with the slider, didn't want to leave it off the plate and walk Josh Reddick. You see him go out there and hook this, very similar to what he did in last night's ball game. And you get it up in the air today, and the ball's going to carry a little bit. It was well hit by Josh Reddick.
Just shy of 400 feet. And now Gonzalez. Well, the Astros continue hit with power on the road. It is a franchise record. 24 consecutive road games with a home run. And they're just, I think, 3 shy of the major league record now. Ball on a strike now on Gonzalez. Meanwhile, for Reddick, that's a home run in 2 straight games. He had gone 44 games without a home run prior to last night.
Well, this team has been really good on the road. You mentioned the home runs, the streak for them. And how about just overall what they have done? The most wins at 31 and across the board. The average, the on base, the total runs scored. And on the pitching side, that ERA of 2.73 away from Minute Maid. Of course, I'm
Minute Maid's a great place to hit. The ballpark, well, seems like the road has been a great place to hit for this lineup.
Minor get a moment to reset as Gonzalez steps away. 4-2, top of the fourth. This one hooked on the ground to third. Profar reaches out, nice play, and Guzman couldn't hold it. Pretty good effort to get to the ball. The little turn and throw, and almost playable there for Guzman. It is an error on Jurickson Profar.
Yeah, Jurickson does a nice job of going to his left and getting this ball. You see the one tap into the glove. That's a tough pick right there for Ronald Guzman. He has to reach as far as he can to his right and try to catch this on the short hop. That is a difficult pick as he just misses it. He's done an excellent job over there at first base in those situations. That one, though, quite the challenge.
Tim Fedorovich walked in the third inning. That's the first error for the Rangers now in the last 7 games. Profar, the starts he has had at third base, has looked real good. He got very comfortable at short. There's a strike 1-1 to Fedorovich.
See if Mike Minor can turn this into a double play. Obviously some struggles here so far this inning with the double and the home run. And we mentioned, of course, the Astros have hit into more double plays than any other team in the game. And this would be a great time for Mike Minor to try to get himself one.
This one line just over third. Profar couldn't quite get it. Gallo tracks it down in the corner. Gets it back in quickly. Stop Gonzalez at third base. Fedorovich with a double, just his third hit this season and his second double.
Take a look at the pitch here, trying to go down and in, and that's exactly where the pitch was. Mike Minor hit his spot with that slider, and it's a good job by Fedorovich just to square that ball up and hit it well to left field. And so now Doug Brocail is going to come on out and give Mike Minor a breather.
Now Mike coming off a really good start his last time out Wednesday against the Padres, went 7 innings and gave up 1 hit. You mentioned it earlier, his last 4 starts, that was the month of June. Minor was 2-0 with an ERA of 2.08. But today running into a little stiffer competition. And the Astros have worked him hard here, especially these last 2 innings. You see over 20 pitches in the third. Same thing here in the 4th inning. So Tony Kemp, who flied out in the third, 0 for 1. And hits this one very high in the air, short right field. Mazzaro waiting. Gets in good position, makes the catch. A bluff at third by Gonzalez. Not real feet of foot. Probably would have scored. The throw was offline, but chose to stay at third. And there are 2 away.
It's a pretty wild throw from Nomar Mazzaro, who has been great this year in these spots. And it was just a bluff to try to draw the throw, and too difficult to try to read where that thing was headed. But you certainly want to be aggressive in those spots, but it's not too often that you actually see the pitcher catching the ball in the air when he's where he's supposed to be. It's one thing when the pitcher's where he's not supposed to be, and sometimes you see him catch the ball in the infield, but when he's actually behind the catcher, backing up, catching that ball in the air, it was quite the throw from Nomar.
Springer struck out both times tonight. 0 for 2. Five hits in his last 61 at bats. A real struggle for Springer. 0.82 batting average, on base average of 200. That goes back to like, I don't know, June 10th, June 15th. inside, and it's 3-0.
So this is interesting where Mike Minor now, as he turns the order over for a third time, second time through has actually been his bigger issue. And we just saw a double, 2 doubles and a home run as he went through the order second time through. Well, maybe this is his comfort zone. 676 OPS. That is much better than league average, and he's done that third time through the order.
Well, he put Springer on with 4 straight misses. And the bases are now loaded. Jeff Bannister looking on. His team jumped out to a 4-0 lead. But that is in peril now. A dangerous Bregman stepping in. A strikeout and a walk so far for Bregman. With runners in scoring position, Bregman hitting .362 this year. Very good numbers, but also probably the hottest hitter on this team.
It's a tough spot here for Mike Minor. He's very good against lefties, as we mentioned. Minor was able to strike him out in that first at bat. Difficult to get him to expand the zone. You got to come to him and do things like that. First pitch changeup to get the swing and miss.
Pretty good numbers on this 8-game hitting streak for Bregman. He has Marwin Gonzalez at third, Tim Fedorovich at second, and George Springer at first. 2 out though, and Minor's pitch a little bit low. 1-1.
He's got changeup and slider so far, and below the zone. Not a bad place to try to get ahead. You can elevate on Alex Bregman, as I mentioned. Doesn't chase out of the zone very often, but at the top of the zone with that fastball, especially middle in, that's not a bad place to go.
Hit hard out of the left field. That's a base hit. 1 run is in, and that's all they'll get. They go station to station. Bregman went up after that one, and I said hit hard. He swung hard, but it wasn't that well struck. Well enough to get over the infield, and good enough to get a run home and make it a 4-3 game.
Yeah, this was a changeup from Mike Minor. You're going to get a look at it right here. There's the grip, and trying to throw this thing down and away, very similar to the first pitch that he threw to Bregman that he swung and missed. But this one stayed up in the zone, not where he wanted it, and that gave Bregman a chance to line that ball in the left field the way that he did.
So still loaded now, and now the 9th hitter of the inning, Jose Altuve. He's 0 for 2. The Minor's first pitch, bouncer third base. Profile right there. He'll go to the bag, and that will end the inning. But 3-run score for the Astros. They leave them loaded. Go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Rangers still lead by 1.
Just want to say hi to my family back home in Texas. Go Texas Rangers.
But tonight, American military personnel serving overseas are watching this game on AFN, the American Forces Network. Welcome to all those of you serving in countries around the world and aboard naval ships at sea, and thank you for your service. Great to have you along tonight. Independence Day today here at Globe Life Park. And a 4-3 ball game. Guzman will start things off here in the fourth. Guzman, Delano DeShields, and then Shin-Soo Choo. Garrett Cole got a little breather there after a long third inning in which he threw 26 pitches. And he goes just a little bit high to Guzman for ball one. This one fouled away. Will end up beyond the dugout there on the third base side. Barely. Looked like it was starting to come back just a little bit. 1-1 the count. Guzman struck out his first time up in the second inning. Garrett Cole, meanwhile, a former first-round pick, the first overall selection in 2011 by the Pirates. Cole, a special talent coming out of that draft. Was the opening day starter last year for Pittsburgh, and the Astros got him in a deal this offseason for 4 young players. Guzman stays alive, 1-2. They traded Michael Feliz, a right-handed pitcher, Jason Martin, Colin Moran, and Joe Musgrove in that deal. Guys who contributed to last year's World Series championship. Ripped foul. Guzman way out in front, 1-2.
Adrian Beltre not happy with that at all. Already dealing with the tooth issue. That's not a fun kind of pain. And then he's got Guzman drilling a ball at him as he's just trying to relax and take the game in. But it's interesting. You mentioned Garrett Cole was a 1 overall draft pick, as was Carlos Correa. We got 2 first overall picks on this roster. Justin Verlander, 2nd overall. Alex Bregman, 2nd overall. And they got some high draft picks on this club.
2-2 the count. And Cole, a very big get in the offseason. 27 years old, an all-star in 2015 with the Pirates. This is his 18th start of the year. And it's low, full count.
It was interesting. You get him in this atmosphere. Expectations a little bit higher, obviously, with the Astros than they are in Pittsburgh. And you figure, okay, well, maybe, be a good atmosphere for him and be a little bit better. And people were wondering, do you really look at him as an ace, or was he more like, well, he's ace of the Pirates? It's amazing how much better he's pitched.
9th pitch of the at-bat. Guzman with a lazy fly ball to center field, 1 away.
The thing that probably sticks out the most, one thing about Garrett Cole, as you looked at it, he's a very good big league starter when he was with the Pirates, but he wasn't a dominant starter, and especially when it came to swings and misses. Well, he gets over here to Houston, makes some slight changes to his pitch usage. Not a ton. Of changeup usage is down a little bit. The 2-seam fastball usage is down, but the curveball is up. The slider is up, and he has watched his strikeout rate per 9 jump by nearly 4. I mean, that is a huge, huge number to go from being in the 8s to then being in the 12s. And now he is pitching like a legitimate ace. Told you he was going to try to bunt.
Look at the strikeout numbers for Garrett Cole prior to the All-Star break, and he will catch Mike Scott, assuming he makes all of his starts prior to the break, and will no doubt hold that record. Scott, that was that great 1986 team, ended up losing to the Mets in the National League Championship Series. 0-2 to DeShields. Well, you're right, Delano with the bunt attempt. Now 2 strikes, swinging away, and fouls this one out of play. So you don't see the Cole transformation this year as being that dramatic in terms of pitch usage, like the 2-seamer.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit less on the 2-seamer, not much, only down 3%. Changeup usage is down 6%. Not big numbers, but curveball and slider usage up.
Swing and a miss to Shields. Chases a breaking ball, strikes out here for the second out of the inning. Well, the next Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Night will be Wednesday, July 25th. The Oakland A's and the Rangers, a 7:05 game. Come on out to Globe Life Park and enjoy those ballpark hot dogs for just $1 each. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. You can try and make a run at Joey Chestnut and his 74 hot dogs today in 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
It's absurd.
You could get, what, 6, maybe 8 down?
I don't think I'll eat 74 hot dogs in 10 years.
I beg to differ. Chew.
It'll be close.
We get 74 down prior to the end of the season.
No chance. It's pretty amazing to watch what he does.
0-2. And Chu hits it right back up the middle. That's a base hit. Second time today that he has been on. Homer in the third, a base hit here in the fourth inning. And he just keeps on trucking.
Really amazing to see with Chu and how good he has been against high velocities. That's one of the things we talked about. Very nice look at the two-seam fastball there. He was trying to throw that front door two-seamer, try to get Chu maybe to take a strike, but he elevates it instead at 96 miles an hour. And on fastballs 96 and higher this year, Chu is hitting 364. That'll obviously go up now after that base hit, but you really have a tough time trying to get a good fastball by Shin-Soo Chu.
Well, 2 outs. Andrews had the base hit last time up. And it's 1-1.
So I just saw on the great MLB at Bat app as it goes across and says that Chu singles on a ground ball to center field. That was a missile line drive.
1-2 the count.
Right? I mean,
definitely wasn't a ground ball. Scud? I don't know what you
I mean, yeah, let's have some fun with it. Dribbler off the end of the bat.
There's a little flare out into right field for Elvis. His second hit of the game. Chu drops anchor out there at second base. So Rangers trying to put something together here with 2 out.
Good job by Elvis, who has also been good against high velocities. This is a slider away. And you see him just kind of throw the bat out there, and that's a nice job because we know that Garrett Cole is great at generating those swings and misses. We were just talking about the big spike in his strikeout rate, and so the idea of being short with your bat and just trying to get it out there in a spot like that with 2 strikes, that's a really nice job by Elvis.
Nomar 0 for 2, and he goes after that fastball upstairs for strike 1. Rangers 2 for 6 so far today with runners in scoring position. He's got Chu at second, Elvis at first. Rangers certainly could use another run or 2 here. And again, Fedorovich and Cole. Cole's body language to me is just wretched.
He's frustrated. We know he's an ultra competitor. He's one of those guys where he gets in between the lines, and sometimes that'll spill over when he obviously hasn't had his best stuff, and some frustration there. We've seen it, but you're right. I mean, he's at the point now where he is, I think, kind of turned the corner, and you look at him more as a veteran. Take a look at what he has done pitches by inning. They've been up over the last 3, and so yeah, you'd probably like to see him tuck that in a little bit more.
Now Mazzaro wants time. I feel like he's kind of showing up his catcher here just a little bit at times, but I understand the frustration. He's not gone well for him today. Rangers have put some good at-bats on him. The 0-2. One at 99 miles per hour, but misses low.
Well, check this out. We got some StatCast data that is powered by AWS, and here's what it is showing us over his last 100 balls that he's put in play under 200 feet. Look where Nomar Mazara has hit most of them. And if you notice, not a lot of Astros defenders in that spot. We've talked a lot about how Nomar's done such a great job of going the other way when they've left him a hole on the left side. Well, there's a decent hole on the right side. Let's see if that back control can continue to be as good as it has been. Now, got a really good pitcher like Garrett Cole, and first things first, you're just trying to put the ball in play and hopefully square it up, and to be able to have control of where that ball goes a little bit tougher against a power righty.
Here's the 1-2, and that's way up and out.
At 99, I mean, obviously from a strength standpoint, Garrett Cole feels really good, but from a command standpoint, has not been his best game. Now, it's only the one walk, but he's got a couple of wild pitches in there, and we have seen him miss his spots pretty consistently.
Well, this will be his 25th pitch of the inning, and Mazara gets a piece of it, keep the count at 2-2.
This would be a huge hit if Nomar Mazara could find a way to get a run in after the Astros answered the Rangers in the top of the fourth with 3, after, of course, the Rangers scored 3 in the bottom of the third, to try to get another run back on the board, change that momentum a little bit. That would be big here by Nomar.
Off the plate, and it's a full count.
That is a changeup, and you see how badly he missed up and away on that pitch, and the body language continues to be an issue here for Garrett Cole.
Well, this will be the 7th pitch of this at bat. Here it comes. Runner's going, and it's fouled away.
Take a look at Nomar Mazara fighting off this 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Now, this has been a little bit of an issue. There's the 4-seam grip for Nomar. He's just 2 for 25 on pitches 96 miles an hour and higher this year, which is kind of surprising when you think about how flat his swing is, how good he is at putting the ball in play. That high velocities would have been an issue for him.
Oh, he swings and misses out a breaking ball low and in. So that ends the inning. Rangers leave a couple. We will go to the 5th inning in a 1-run game.
Over the course of NASA's Apollo missions, 6 United States flags were placed on the moon. 5 remain standing to this day.
Four innings in the books tonight. And we head to the 5th, a 4-3 ball game. Great crowd once again tonight. We had over 40,000 here yesterday. And it's the final time this season that the Astros and Rangers will play a game here at Globe Life Park. Rather early ending to the season series here. They will get together one more time down in Houston later this month, and then that's it. Well, first pitch, and Gurriel sends this one high in the air, deep out to left field, and it's gone. They didn't waste much time. Gurriel first pitch swinging, and he ties this game at 4.
Take a look at the slider here from Mike Minor. Good look at the grip and trying to get ahead early now. Impressive at bats, back-to-back at bats by Gurriel. Remember, he went the other way, hit that double in the right field gap, and then he gets out there and pulls this one.
.427 feet on the whole run. Evan Gattis now takes one right on the inside corner for a strike. Just the 5th home run of the year for Gurriel. Minor's 1-strike pitch. And this one hit hard down the left field line, but foul. It's 0-2. Couple of groundouts today for Gattis. 0 for 5 in the series. He hits this one down the right field line, slicing away, but that one drops in. Base hit right there in front of Mazara. Quick throw back to first, but Gattis able to get back in there with a base hit.
That's a tough break for Mike Minor because he was able to beat Evan Gattis with that fastball. The contact was weak. He was late on it, but he just put it in a perfect spot. You see this ball just kind of die in front of Nomar Mazara. But take a look here, trying to go in with the fastball and gets it in far enough, in or third. And you see Gattis get beat. He's late. Didn't hit it very hard, but just a great spot, unfortunately, for Mike Minor.
A man aboard. Reddick lifts the first pitch in the air out to short left field. Gower coming in. One out. All right, our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. Matt Moore and getting ready out there in the bullpen. Minor not as sharp as we had seen recently. Again, I think, you know, at times you have to look at who you're dealing with. It's a much different lineup than the one he faced when he squared off against the Padres his last time out. Marwin Gonzalez reached on an error his last time up. He's 0 for 2.
We knew the Astros were going to present a challenge for Mike Minor. We showed you how good he had been against right-handed hitters over his last couple of starts. When you kind of dig in this game, a couple of at-bats by Gurriel, the opposite field double, the home run. Those are 2 quality at-bats. He has scored twice, driven in a run. And then you had Josh Reddick in a full count catch a slider out front and hit that home run, and it was a 2-run home run. So outside of that, for the most part, Mike Minor's done a pretty respectable job here against a very, very tough hitting team, especially against left-handed pitchers.
No balls, 2 strikes. Marwin Gonzalez would not chase that one. Gonzalez has ended up being a pretty important player for these Astros the last couple of years. Lately, he has been filling in at shortstop with Carlos Correa on the disabled list. And A.J. Hinch has a good amount of comfort using him there. Last year, Marwin Gonzalez was one of the best in the league with runners in scoring position, and on as good a team as the Astros were, he was their RBI leader. He had 90 RBIs last season. He takes way in. It's 2-2.
to think of Springer and Altuve, you name it, Bregman, Gaddis. But last year in that World Series team, you know, and I bet if you, I don't know, polled like 100 baseball fans randomly across the United States, so well, who was the RBI leader last year on the Astros? I guess some very few would have picked Marwin Gonzalez. He might have gotten 0. 2-2. And he rolls it to short. Quick throw to second for one. Odor with a turn. In time. Double play. Well, you've been asking for it. And there you get it. 6-4 to 3.
Well, the Rangers are so good in these spots. Mike Minor delivers the pitch, and the defense does what it does best. Here's that ground ball. Nice job by Elvis Andrews. The good feed to Rougned Odor. The strong throw over to first, and Mike Minor's pretty excited about it.
July at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Jurickson Profar up to bat for the Rangers, and talking to Jurickson about where he's most comfortable in this lineup, he actually says he's most comfortable in the upper half. He just feels like that's where he's able to do the most damage for one reason or another. As far as his defense is concerned, because he is now moving around a lot, he says he tries to keep everything the same except where he takes ground balls that day. Depending on where he plays, that's where he'll do it, but everything else pretty much has stayed the same.
Yeah, and he gets a little wrinkle today, right, where prior to the game he believes that he's playing second base, so probably doing most of his early work, pregame work out there, and then it's a late scratch for Adrian Beltre, so he has to slide over to third. And not to say that he can't do it, but he made that throwing error after doing all that pregame work at second, but that's part of being in the position that Jurickson Profar is in. He's got to be ready for those opportunities, and he's done a good job defensively, so don't worry about it too much, but it's a little unsettling to have that late change.
Takes in a ball and 2 strikes leading off this 5th inning. Profar, Odor, and Chirinos. Garrett Cole at 90 pitches. And this one off the bat to the left side, and it's empty over there. Profar with a base hit to start the 5th inning. Well, they gave it to him. He took it. All right, another guy always taking things. Pause here for a Chevy game break. Let's give it to Rick Renner.
They stopped booing Stanton in New York. He's got about the same home runs. I saw this yesterday, and same RBIs as he did a year ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, and all of that, obviously a little bit of different feel in New York. They were dissatisfied with his slow start to the season. Things kind of leveling out now for Stanton.
Well, Emily was was just talking about Profar and, you know, the job that he's been doing and the expectations and whatnot. And then the change today as he plays third base instead of second. Odor thought he had the day off. Now, he was out here working early for everybody else. You probably saw that because, I mean, you were here at like 3
Well, I
a.m.
usually come and hit the guys' ground balls as kind of part of my routine before I start digging into the data for the game.
Right.
Throw a little extra BPL. Anything I can do to help the club.
I mean, it was all I could do to stumble in here in time to see Rugi taking those ground balls. But he was out working solo in the heat of the afternoon sun, and it turns out he gets in the game. He has an RBI double so far. 1 for 2 against the tough right-hander Garrett Cole. Works with an advantageous count here, though, 2-1. Three balls in the strike. So Cole, I mean, he's had very few, I guess, battles today where he has not gone deep in the count. 95 pitches in as he works here in the 5th inning with nobody out. He's only managed 12 outs so far. 6 of the 12 outs have been strikeouts. Now, after all of that communication, Odor backs out, and they may go through all that again.
So he's only had 2 outings this year of exactly 5 innings. And those have been the lowest. And he has just been an absolute machine getting deep into games. 15 out of the 17 starts have been at least 6 innings for Garrett Cole. But what's interesting is we talk about his struggles and we see him missing badly at times. From an overall strike percentage, he's actually right in line with what he has done this year. He's thrown 64% strikes today, and this year he's been at 67%. So just a couple of percent off, but it seems like a lot more than that.
Walks Odor. A base hit and a walk. Rangers trying to build something in this 5th inning in a tie game. And it brings up Robinson Chirinos. Will Harris working out in the Astros bullpen.
If they can somehow find a way to get Garrett Cole out of this game, it certainly would be helpful. It's a good bullpen in Houston, but talked a lot about how good this guy has been, and that'd be a nice boost for the Rangers if they can find a way to get him out of here before the 5th inning is complete.
Well, Rangers hoping to split this series with a win today. Now again, timeout asked for and granted by Quinn Walcott, our plate umpire. Been a lot of this today. Sometimes it's Fedorovich, sometimes it's the Rangers hitters. Chirinos took a good cut there. 0-1.
It's a good example of a pitch that ended up being a strike, but not where Garrett Cole wanted it. And that's been part of the struggle for him today. Not just necessarily missing the zone, but even missing in the zone. And breaking ball kind of backed up on him a little bit and stayed up.
Chirinos with a double and a walk coming into the game. His last 7. 3 home runs, 3 doubles. It was hitting .360. And 1 the count. And Cole about to deliver his 100th pitch of the night. Here it comes. Chirinos fouls it away. So Robbie, it's been a nice little run. He's made some adjustments offensively, and since June 1st, well, he ranks among American League catchers right there at the very top. On base percentage 2nd, the runs, the home runs. It's been all about engaging the lower body, tensing up the lower body. 1-2 pitch. Yeah, he fouls it away again.
Well, it's good to see. I mean, you're not going to find an easier Ranger to root for than Robinson Chirinos. Just a really nice guy, great with the media. liked a ton by his teammates, and he had a great offensive year last year, and so that slow start this season. It's good to see him get it turned around and what he has done since the beginning of June.
It's this one foul. You know, before the ball game today, you're talking about how good he is with the media. Talking a little bit about his hopes of becoming a U.S. citizen in the not too distant future, and coming over from Venezuela originally with the Cubs. When he came up in the minor leagues, you know, they get guys host families down to those minor league stops along the way. His first stop was in Boise, and the Cubs made a conscious effort at that time to get guys who did not speak English as their native language into families that would really work with them that way. And Robbie says his first family challenged him on a daily basis, you know, really made him speak English at times and helped him along, and he's just so appreciative of those early years in the minor leagues when the Cubs, you know, made that great effort, and all those great host families put in the time and effort to help him learn the language.
And it certainly shows with Robbie, and it's always a pleasure when we get an opportunity to talk to him and get him in post games, whatever it may be. You could say the same about Nomar Mazar, right? Not going to the Dominican Winter League, or should say Summer League at 17 years old.
Emily, no doubt, has more on this.
Yeah, Robinson Chirinos wants to become a U.S. citizen. He's started the process, and in 4 to 6 weeks, he should receive his residence card. Obviously, this hits very close to home for him, with his wife, or his sister rather, gaining asylum here in the U.S. not too long ago. So him being an American citizen, very important to Robbie.
Be a cool moment. Certainly will be fun to kind of follow that process along with him. And at the same time, when you think about the struggles and everything that's been going on in Venezuela, the idea of the fact that he could become a U.S. citizen, and it just would be fantastic.
Well, Tapper by the mound. Gonzalez quick flip to second. The relay is in time for the double play. Well, 6-4-3. Profar at third base, but there are 2 out in the inning. We'll bring up Joey Gallo. Joey 0 for 2 today. So I was looking through Joey's numbers earlier today while you were here. I was in the laboratory, and his contact numbers are higher this year all the way around. Contact percentage up on pitches outside the zone, contact percentage up on pitches in the zone. So he's making more consistent contact this year than last year. You know, home runs, he's sitting on 20 at this point in the season. Now he's swinging at a few more pitches outside the zone and maybe a few less in the zone than last year. 0-1 to count.
Take a look at Joey Gallo here. It's just like we did with Nomar Mazar and where he is hitting most of those balls. This is the last 100 balls put in play under 200 feet. You can see how many are to the right side and why we have seen so many teams shift him. Now Alex Bregman has to stay close with the runner on. They don't want him to get, I guess, too big of a lead. But like so many teams have done, you would think the ideal spot to put, if you're going to have one guy on the left side of the infield, would be at shortstop and even leaning a little bit closer to second base based on those numbers that you just saw right there. I too was digging in on some Joey Gallo numbers today, and the thing that kind of caught me, that batting average on balls in play for him is 241. League average is usually around 300. That is the 10th lowest in the game. He's just had some bad luck when he's put it in play.
Well, he strikes out here on a 100-mile-per-hour fastball from Garrett Cole. We go to the 6th. community. Independence Day. Wonderful 4th of July so far. 4-4 our score here. 6th inning. Happy birthday, America. And Mike Minor out in this 6th inning. And he will get the 8 and 9 hitters from Houston. Fedorovich, Kemp, and then up top for George Springer. Jose Leclerc getting loose out of the bullpen. Fedorovich today has walked and doubled. Good day at the plate. He takes that one high, 1-1. Talking earlier about how Evan Gattis probably not going to do, a whole lot of catching for the Astros. Not going to play a lot of defense. So Hench told me an interesting story today, which I thought pretty much summed up his stance on the situation. Fedorovich pops this one foul, out of play. So he said in his first year on the job with Houston, they were playing in San Diego and interleague play. And he told Gattis, he said, hey, look, I want to keep your bat in the lineup. So we're going to put you out in left field. And Gattis was like, what? No, I can't play left field. Yeah, I know. I'm going to put you in left field. No big deal. Just hang in there. It's okay. A lot of dudes have played there. 2-2 on Fedorovich.
Yes, they have.
So I said, he's like, it's Petco. I mean, come on. You can go stand out there for a while. So first inning, couple guys get on. And Gattis gets up and he hits a 3-run bomb. And as he's coming into the dugout, AJ lifts his hand up, give him a high five, fist bump, something, says, great job, you did your job today. And Gattis stops like, so I don't have to go play defense? I said, no, just nice job. Fly ball out to left field. Gallo puts it away and Fedorovich retired. So no, it was a good job. Yes, you still have to go up to left field. The game got out of hand. The Astros ended up opening up a big lead early, and he only made him play like 3 innings out there, and then took him out of the ball game. But he's like, yeah, I just,
couldn't wait to get out of there.
Yeah, I think we're going to go with Fedorovich. Whatever. We'll let Gattis just DH.
It's tough. Guys don't want to get exposed, right? And put in that situation where they could hurt the team or get embarrassed.
A bouncer shortstop, and Andrews throws out Tony Kemp. 2 away. Top of the order coming. We have a moment here. How about a word from our friends at Kia?
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Well, Minor with a couple of quick outs, and he needs a short inning at 91 pitches, but working here in the 6th in a tie game. Handled Springer pretty well so far today, but misses outside with the ball.
Yeah, this would be a nice bounce back inning. Mike Minor did a good job after a leadoff home run by Gurriel in the 5th and the single. Got himself out of that inning with a fly ball and the double play. So it's been 4 straight retired now. And as the order turns over for the 4th time for the Astros, if he can finish things up here with Springer, might be the end of his day. We'll see.
2-0. Minor was just kicking around that dirt and clay landing area out in front of the mound just a moment ago. There's a strike, 2-1. And I guess it's worth revisiting. The game was delayed. The start of the game delayed just a little bit this afternoon. That area was a little slippery, a little wet. They made some adjustments. Then in the bottom of the 1st, after Garrett Cole worked out there, he called the crew out again and said, yeah, maybe you could make some additional changes. And so I suppose, in as much as we've seen 2 guys who've been pitching real well lately not have their best games today, might be worth considering again. The mound might have thrown him off just a touch.
Tie, full count.
Never a bad idea to blame somebody else for your struggles.
That's what I want to do.
Really, I think a good way to go through life in general. But it is fair. I mean, you can tell both of those guys the first inning just trying to get a feel for their pitches, and it was off a little bit. I mean, I think Mike Minor's throwing the ball well. We kind of highlighted the couple of hits, the big ones that he's let up, but they both bounce back. I think for Garrett Cole, it's been a different story.
Well, big strikeout by Minor right there to complete a 1-2-3, top of the sixth. 5.5 in, we're tied at 4.
Hats off for heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Tied at 4, bottom of the sixth inning here. And a new pitcher in the ball game for Houston. Will Harris making his 36th appearance. A 3-3 record. The ERA over 4 for Harris. But he has been a very big contributor to the bullpen, not just this year, but last year, of course. 27 of his last 30 road appearances have been scoreless ones. And they need him in a big spot here. Tied at 4. The Rangers managed to knock Garrett Cole out after 5 innings. Cole gave up 4 runs on 8 hits in his 5 innings. Walked 2, struck out 7. And Harris finds the corner on Guzman for strike 1.
So we talked about the lack of left-handed pitchers in that Astros bullpen. It's worked because some of the righties are good against lefties. Will Harris not one of those. This year lefties hitting .318 off him, but he has dominated righties. They've hit just .180.
Whoa, up and in on Guzman. 2-1.
He's getting a little bit frustrated, right? Go back to yesterday with some hard fastballs. Now this one looks like a cutter, but it's just up and in and tight. And so we've seen Ronald Guzman kind of get spun off the plate multiple times here by this Astros pitching staff.
And he pulls off that one a little bit. Evens the count here. Guzman struck out in the second, flied out in the fourth. Slow roller left side of the infield, and Bregman won't have a play. Big shift, and Guzman beats it with a little dribbler. Good start to this 6th inning. Hey, Coca-Cola Family Pack offers savings of over 50% on tickets, food, kids zone access, souvenir programs, and, would you believe it, Coke soft drinks. Family Pack is a great way to catch the Rangers when they face the A's July 23rd to the 26th. Go to TexasRangers.com/specials and get your Coca-Cola Family Pack today. So now to Shields. And he shows bunt, drops it third base side. That's a beauty. Bregman with a bare and the throw. Not in time. And it's a bunt hit for the Shields. Rangers have the first 2 men on.
Oh, what a fantastic bunt by Delano to Shields, and a heck of an effort by Alex Bregman to make this even close. We talk a lot about how good his defense has been at third. It's been excellent. He knew Delano was probably going to try the bunt. He was in. It's a really nice play. That's everything you can do right there. Alex Bregman can't make that play in that situation. I'm not sure anybody else can. And with Delano to Shields running as well as he does, I don't think there's a third baseman in the league that gets him. Excellent bunt. 10th bunt hit of the season. You see it now for the Rangers, 19 overall as a team. 10 of those have come from Delano to Shields.
Now Chu, he bunts. This one taken by Harris. He'll throw to third, but nobody's there. And now they throw to first, and Chu never got there. What in the world?
Well, ultimately, it ended up working out. You see Chu looking over. I think he thought that there was only going to be a play at first base. A lot going on here with this bunt. Now take a look at first Alex Bregman. You're going to get a good look at it here. Watch what he does here. He's pointing and thinking, no, go to first, and so he's not there. I think Chu thought the same thing, so he was caught by surprise. There goes Chu. I think he was thinking exactly what Alex Bregman was thinking. They're just going to throw that ball to first, and there's no chance I'm going to be safe. And that's the conversation between Jeff Bannister and Shin-Soo Choo.
That's a sacrifice. It was 1 to 5 to 3. 2 men in scoring position. Now Chu has been working through a quad strain, but I don't think that explains the effort that he gave down the line there, and just kind of caught. Breaking ball misses. 2-0.
Yeah, it was definitely a play that there was some miscommunication between Will Harris and Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman, actually partially his fault. He needed to be back at third base there. He thought that there was no play. There would have been a play. Will Harris knew there was going to be a play. At least he wanted to have the option of throwing that ball to third base. Bregman did not get back in time, but he got bailed out by Chu, who didn't run down the first base line as hard as Jeff Bannister probably would like him to have run.
I think you saw Banny with his arm around Chu a moment ago, just double checking, make sure he's okay. I think that wasn't a function of the quad bothering him more maybe than he was letting on. Guzman third, to Shields at second base.
Did you say that was the 1-5-3 sacrifice bunt?
Yep. Pretty standard.
Yeah.
You've seen it before. 2-1 pitch. A little bit in. And so Harris in danger of loading them up here in the 6th inning. Elvis, 2 hits so far today. He has scored a run. Chopper left side of the infield. And they take care of Andrews. Everybody has to hold a 6-3 put out. 2 away. It's going to be up to Nomar Mazara. Harris on in relief of Garrett Cole. Got a break on the sacrifice. And then hits Elvis Andrews. Now it's Mazara. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed slugger with 15 home runs. Mazara 2 for 4 off Harris in their few meetings so far in their careers. Nomar with a couple of strikeouts today, though. 1-1 the count. Well, the Rangers scored the first run of the game in the 2nd inning. And then in the third, open it up to a 4-0 advantage. It looked like they might have their way with Garrett Cole. And the first couple of innings for Mike Minor were pretty solid, but then the Astros have come back. 3 runs in the fourth, a run in the fifth to tie it. Rangers now into this Astros bullpen. And a great opportunity right here.
See if Nomar gets a cutter to handle against lefties. That is the pitch that Harris uses most, 58% of the time. But opposing hitters, opposing lefties, hitting .366 against the cutter. Goes to the curveball instead. That's been a much better pitch for Harris against lefties. You see that slow breaking ball. It's a good pitch. Even though it's up in the zone, it's a differential in speed. Lefties hitting just 190 on the Will Harris curveball this season.
Another break in the action. Fedorovich asking to resend the signs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that'll even it up.
It's 3 curveballs in a row to Nomar Mazara. He started off with a cutter, but now 3 of those slower breaking balls. Nomar will see a 4th here. Mentioned the struggles on the cutter this season against lefties for Harris. The curveball has been the better pitch, but you got a really good hitter like Nomar Mazara. You're always careful about repeating the same pitch over and over again.
Off the plate, full count.
That was another curveball. Wasn't nearly as good, but it was the same pitch. Time, 5th curveball in a row.
Would you do it?
If I'm Will Harris, based on how the season has gone against lefties, I probably would. But again, Nomar is such a good hitter. If you just flip that one over for a strike, he certainly could do some damage against it.
28 RBIs in his last 33 games, and he swings and misses there. The inning is done. So Harris got himself in a little trouble, but the Rangers let him off the hook. We go to the 7th inning, tied at 4.
And the many fans around the world. Let's get them, Rangers.
7th inning on this Independence Day. Rangers and Astros tied at 4. Now 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for the Astros, and Jose Leclerc has checked in.
Game number 32 for Jose. He's been fantastic this season. Great ERA, unbelievable strikeout rate for him. 41 of those strikeouts in just under 30 innings so far this season, and the opponent's batting average 143. An excellent number for the Rangers right-hander.
Alex Bregman, the first man he'll face, in a high pop-up left side. Can't give up on that one. Andrews is over now, backpedaling, and he makes the catch. Whoa. One away. And that wind is going to bring balls back tonight.
Well, what happened earlier, right? Remember the one that looked like, I think Elvis thought it was going to stay in play, ultimately got carried into the seats. Now you get that swirl, and it looked like things changing a little bit here as look how far into foul territory he is, and has to come back probably 10 or 12 feet at the end. It's good concentration by Elvis and a really nice catch. That is certainly not easy.
Well, with one away, Jose Altuve will come up. Yeah, that wind. Flags can be a little misleading sometimes way up high there. The one thing they do let you know is it's howling. But when it comes into this ballpark, it tends to swirl, get pushed around a little bit. Down low, 1-1 the count. Now Altuve is 0 for 3 tonight. Hits this ball hard but foul for strike 2. Well, how about the crowd tonight? 43,592. The final Silver Boot Series game that we will host this year here at Globe Life Park. 2-2. Off of Altuve's leg. I'll have to climb back in there and do it again.
Never very much fun when you have these. And look at Jose Altuve, no protective gear. Oh, so many guys that wear those guards on their feet, ankle, shin. That one caught him right on the shin. No doubt a little bit of swelling almost immediately when you get a ball like that.
Well, guess he's fine. Quick look at it. Okay. Won his 3rd batting title last year, 3rd in 4 seasons. And coming into yesterday's game was leading the league. He's dropped down to 3rd. 2-2 pitch, and this one lifted foul, back out of play. The history of the American League, only 12 players have won 3 batting titles, and Altuve will be shooting for number 4 this season. He's had 200 or more hits now in 4 straight seasons.
Hold on, back that up. You said how many people have won?
12
have won 3
titles in the American League.
Oh, American League. Okay.
Pop-up foul ground, playable perhaps for Guzman, and he makes the play. 2 away.
So if you're an infielder right now, and maybe even an outfielder, you're just kind of hoping that guys will hit the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
Based on what you've just seen these 2 pop-ups. I mean, it is just vicious out there. Ronald Guzman, been a great defensive first baseman for the Rangers, but you see him kind of tiptoeing his way there, just not sure exactly where this thing is going to finish, and ultimately it's the basket catch. Look at Steve Buechele right in his face. I mean, he almost looked like he was on ice coming in, just not sure which way he was going to go as he's trying to track that ball and deal with the wall.
Gurriel with a big cut. This one hanging up, and caught. Chirinos had it in the glove, and he squeezes it for the final out of the inning.
A tremendous play here by Robinson Chirinos. A.J. Hinch is looking in because they want to know whether or not this ball may have hit the screen. I don't think it did. Let's get a look at it here. Robinson up against the net. Another basket catch, and yeah, there he is. That is a clean catch.
Wow, nicely done. A 1-2-3. Well, they will stand and stretch here tonight. Time for God Bless America as we give it over to PA man Chuck Morgan.
Airman First Class Jacqueline Essick will now perform God Bless America.
From the mountain to the prairie to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
America. One of America's most iconic treasures, the Liberty Bell rang in 1776 to call all citizens for the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence.
To the bottom of the 7th inning tonight, here on Independence Day, a 4-4 game. What a beautiful night for baseball here at Globe Life Park. As Colin McHugh comes in the game for the Astros, and what a job he has done out of the bullpen. He's a guy who won 19 games as a starter. 1-1.
Yeah, it seems like it's been an easy adjustment so far. Check this out: 0.97 ERA in 37 innings of work. The strikeout to walk ratio 51 strikeouts to just 9 walks so far. So he has seen a boost in his strikeout rate, a significant one. He is a guy that usually would strike out as a starter, very respectable, right around 8 strikeouts per 9. This year, over 12 strikeouts per 9. So he's seen that same 4 strike per 9 bump that Gerrit Cole has seen, but he has seen it going into the bullpen.
Profar fouls one off. It's 2-2.
I mentioned this last night. He is a guy in Colin McHugh that I believe a lot of teams would like to get their hands on and use him as a starter. The Houston Astros have only used 5 starters this year. That is pretty unbelievable.
Profar lifts this one high in the air out to right field, but that one is not going to carry. Reddick, in fact, has to race in at the last minute. One away. Well, speaking of starters, let's look ahead a little bit here. Our Wells Fargo look ahead. Rangers hitting the road after this one tonight. They'll travel through the night to Detroit to see the Tigers
Gallardo will have the start tomorrow for Texas. Bartolo Colon, Cole Hamels, Austin Bibbins, Dirks, a 4-game series in Detroit. Boyd, Zimmerman, Fires, former Astro, and Fulmer going for the Tigers. And Q gets that first one in there for a strike to Odor. The Tigers were really struggling not that long ago. They had lost like what, 10 in a row. Kind of stabilized things just a little bit now, but it's a bit of a challenging year in Detroit. So we'll see if the Rangers are able to get done there. 1-1 the count to Rougned Odor.
You certainly want to see the Rangers take care of business against both the Detroit Tigers and the Baltimore Orioles on this road trip. Of course, the Boston Red Sox will present a challenge, 3 games there next week, starting on Monday. And so that softer part of the schedule, you'd love to see the Rangers be able to win those series, and maybe even more so. It's right in the middle of that road trip. Leading into the All-Star break, you got a very, very good Boston Red Sox team.
McHugh's last 7 appearances have all been scoreless. He just misses the upper reaches of the strike zone. A clearer look at the upcoming road trip for the Rangers. An off day they will spend in Baltimore on the 12th. Before Detroit, then the tough series with the Red Sox, then the Orioles before the break. Full count.
Will Manny Machado be there when we get to Baltimore?
I'm gambling on yes. What do you think?
I think that's probably right. It's a little difficult to get those kinds of deals done, but if there's a team that starts to panic, and there's already been some bigger trades early on with some relievers, guys like Kelvin Herrera moving on pretty early. We saw Denard Span get moved, and Alex Colomé did the Seattle Mariners. And that's about a month ago, I think, it's those deals. It's been a while.
Odor pops this one up into short right field. Altuve yelling for it, and he stays with it. They're all in adventure right now. It's funny, right after you said everybody wants to hit it on the ground, they're all up in the air. 2 away. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's say hi again to Rick Renner. Yeah, amazing how tight this division continues to be. The Astros obviously quite good, coming off their World Series championship as Chirinos swings and misses at strike 1, but Seattle not messing around. They have really hung in there well. Robbie has a double, a walk. He's also hit into a double play, and that one comes way in. So the American League West now up to the moment. Seattle a game back. Oakland, well, Oakland 9 games over 500.
They certainly have been a surprise this season, and kind of the Angels all of a sudden turning into a surprise the other way, just 1 game over and in 4th place.
2-1 now on Chirinos. 4-4 ball game here, 7th inning. Talking earlier, you mentioned how McHugh's a guy a lot of teams would like to have in their rotation. He's done a spectacular job out of the bullpen for Houston. Talking earlier how most people might not have been able to guess that Marwin Gonzalez led the Astros with 90 RBIs last year. And I'm really pretty convinced that if you again pulled those same 100 fans we'd talked about, that they would not have known that Mike Fiers led the Astros in starts and innings pitched last year on that World Series team. He didn't even make the postseason roster, and we'll see him in the next series in Detroit now. It's really funny how that thing came together last year.
Yeah. Well, you make the adjustments toward the end. Obviously, picking up Justin Verlander was a huge acquisition. What happened in the postseason in the closer role, different than what happened during the regular season.
A swing and a miss. Chirinos chase strike 3. And that will do it for the Rangers in the 7th. So the 8th inning on the way in a 4-4 game. GMC dealer today, and buy 5-hour energy shots. Get back to 100%. Beautiful sights tonight. 4-4 our score here as we go to the 8th inning. Fireworks coming up afterward on this Independence Day, and Jake Diekman is checked in the 8th.
Well, here's what the lefty has used so far this season. 62% of the time, the fastball, which has averaged 94 miles an hour, and it's been higher than that at times. The slider, 38% usage, 82 miles an hour on that pitch for Jake Diekman, who's done a good job against righties this year. 203 batting average against them, better than 11 strikeouts per 9, and a 241 batting average against.
Well, he'll get Evan Gattis, Josh Reddick, and Marwin Gonzalez in this 8th inning. Mike Minor had the start today, went 6 innings, allowed 4 runs, only 3 of them earned on 7 hits. Walked 3, struck out 4. Leclerc got 3 pop-ups in the 7th inning. So he was quite good. And now Diekman. (1-0). Chopper left side. High hop. Andrews, long throw, and dug out nicely by Guzman. 1 away.
That was fantastic. Ronald Guzman continuing to impress at first base in these spots. This was a long throw for Elvis Andrewson. You have the option of you want to give your first baseman a long hop, or do you want to try to reach him in the air? Now that was a little bit more of a short hop, not an easy one for Guzman. But see how his glove is on the ground to start. It's a big part of picking and being good at it. You want to have your glove start at the ground and come up through the ball. Sometimes when you're younger, for amateurs or early on in your career, you try to kind of stab at that ball. That's the wrong way to do it. Once you realize that ball's on the ground, get your glove on the ground and come up with the ball. It's a really nice look. That's a nice pick by Ronald Guzman.
Well, a good start to the inning for Diekman. 1 away. Reddick, opposite way foul, leaving things at 1-1. Diekman, the big lefty from Wymore, Nebraska. Married back in Nebraska this offseason on New Year's Eve. It was so cold, though, brutally cold, like sub-zero temperatures.
Life of a baseball player, right?
They said it, I think it was around midnight or so. They ended up ordering like dozens of fast food cheeseburgers and whatnot to bring in.
Cabbage burgers.
Not cabbage burgers, sadly. This one lined into left field, base hit by Reddick. I mean, look, a classy place like Runza doesn't stay open that late.
So why did he end up ordering the burgers? What was?
I think people were just hungry and cold, and you just want a little something warm in your hand. That was, you know, a lot of times going to Nebraska football game stuff. In fact, he and I have talked about Runzas before at Husker football games. You get 2 Runzas on your way in. You put them in your pocket, so you have something nice and warm to hold on to.
Are you sneaking them in?
No.
Or you're allowed to bring them in?
It's all good. Marwin Gonzalez 0 for 3.
So you use a cabbage burger as a hand warmer? Am I understanding this correctly?
And then the great benefit is you can eat it.
Oh, that sounds terrific. Here's some cabbage I've had my hands around for 3 hours. Well, let me go ahead and eat it.
It's in my coat. Gonzalez is lined out, reached on an error, and grounded into a double play. Diekman good at getting ground balls. Would love to see one right here. Send it to the bottom of the 8th inning. And he does get a ground ball. And that with a skipper to short. Now Odor with a turn, and that's an easy 6-4-3 double play. Inning over.
A good defensive positioning by the Rangers. This was a rocket, but it was hit right at Elvis Andrews, and he shows off the good hands as he fields it. Good exchange, easy throw over to Odor, and a perfect 6-4-3 to finish off the Astros.
Still tied to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bottom third of the order for the Rangers do here. Joey Gallo will lead things off against Colin McHugh. And he takes one right down the middle for a strike. McHugh not wasting any time. Very high, 1-1. Gallo 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
Talking about McHugh, of course, the former starter, first year in the bullpen, at least to this level where he's a full-time reliever. Well, you certainly have the advantage because he was a starter, using him in multiple innings. 9 of his 26 games this year have been 2 innings or more.
Foul away. It's a count 1-2. Gallo against Colin McHugh, 3 for 8 with a home run. Always a threat to Gouillard. And the 1-2 pitch. Stays alive. Joey, one of those guys. I wonder, I don't know, I just kind of wonder in the future if we'll view guys like Joey differently when they come along at a younger age in light of like Shohei Ohtani. Gallo was just as ridiculous a talent as a pitcher as he was a hitter growing up. His dad, a former pitcher in the Expos system. Growing up in Las Vegas, he wanted to hit, didn't want to pitch. In fact, when scouts used to come and watch him, he used to try and find out when he'd pitch and would intentionally try to throw them off the scent. He didn't want to be scouted as a pitcher. Hits this ball out to center field. Springer positioned it well, and he hauls it in for out number 1. Well, thanks to T-Mobile, fans can receive a 20% discount on tickets in the all-you-can-eat seats in the home run porch on Friday. Get your tickets in the all-you-can-eat seats for Friday, July 20th, when the Indians and Rangers get together here. Use the coupon code T-Mobile at TexasRangers.com/specials. A lot of folks enjoying a little baseball here today and getting ready for the fireworks afterward. Guzman like to provide some fireworks early. Takes a strike. Ronald with a hit and 3 tries so far today. It's this ball by third. That's a base hit. Rangers have the potential go-ahead run on base. And that gives us a moment now to hear from our friends at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
Ryan Rua comes on for Guzman as a pinch runner.
It's a really nice job by Ronald Guzman now. Second game back after being activated from that concussion DL, the 7-day DL. And he's had some really good at-bats, line drives the other way. Has handled some really tough pitches. And looks like he really hasn't missed a beat at all after having those 7 days off.
Shields with a bunt. First base side. McHugh fields, throws, and he gets it there in time. Milano trying to bunt for a hit for a second time tonight, but couldn't quite pull it off. McHugh with a pretty good recovery coming off the hill. Looked like he was falling up to the third base side. 2 away.
Well, Delano always puts pressure on the defense because of the speed, especially when he gets a pretty soft bunt down. As you mentioned, Colin McHugh running over that way, and you see Delano running on the inside part of that line, making that throw even a little bit more difficult for the right-handed throwing McHugh.
So now the red-hot Shin-Soo Choo, 2 hits today and 3 tries, also a sacrifice. Go-ahead run in scoring position.
Get to our Southwest Airlines player breakdown and take you into the night of Shin-Soo Choo. We've talked so much about what he has done in regard to getting on base, but there has been some power as well. He hit that solo home run back in the 3rd inning for Texas Rangers, and then this ground ball to center field, according to MLB.com. But a good base hit, the sacrifice, and you see it there. He has extended his on-base streak now to 44 games.
Picks one off the plate, 1-1. Such a great hitter, has been throughout his career. One. Swings and misses at strike 2.
That's something you don't see him do very often. Chase pitches out of the strike zone, especially fastballs up, and it's difficult to get a good fastball by him.
Rua out at second base. The 1-2. Out to center field. But Springer is there. And the inning is done. So it's off to the 9th tonight. Tied at 4. Fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. 9th inning. All square, 4-apiece. Keone Keller has come out of the bullpen for the Rangers. Ryan Rua stays in the game after pinch running. He's in left field. That means that Gallo had to move. And now he is over at first. So Keller on, third reliever tonight for the Rangers. Tim Fedorovich hits a little high for a ball.
Here's that pitch arsenal for Keller. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, curveball. It's been averaging 83 miles per hour so far this season. It has been the dominant pitch, just a 160 batting average against on that curveball. And 28 of his 36 strikeouts this season have come on the curveball. That has been the finishing pitch for Keller this season.
Fouled over the right side. 2-1 the count. Fedorovich walked a double. He's also flied out to left. Keller now 25 years old. The guy put in that closer spot this year and has absolutely dominated. In particular, in safe situations, he has been outstanding. Now, this is not a safe spot for him. And in those spots, well, a little hit or miss sometimes. 2-2. But it's a full count.
And it's kind of a common story for closers in these spots. In the non-safe situations, especially if the team is losing or it's a blowout on the positive side, there's something about those moments where some pitchers, some closers will struggle a little bit. This is a little bit different in the sense that it's a tie game against a really good team.
This one out to left field, and Rua is right there, one away.
Kind of backing up on what you were talking about, he has been incredibly dominant in save situations. Here are those numbers. The ERA 0.49, the strikeouts per 9 nearly 13. I mean, across the board, he's been fantastic as a closer, and then becomes a matter of kind of getting over the hump mentally a little bit, trying to get some better production in the non-save situations. But when it has mattered the most, Keone Keller has been terrific here for the Rangers in 2018.
Gets the first man, now Kemp. And he shows him a little heat there. Upstairs for a ball. Now consider the Rangers have won 38 games this year. Kela has either won or finished 26 of the 38 wins. And it's 1-1 on Kemp, who's been a very important piece of a successful bullpen combination for Jeff Bannister. Banny, who by the way is sitting on 299 career managerial wins. Bouncer right side of the infield. Odor is there, throws over to first, gets Kemp 2 away. You can enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. And Banny said he was caught by surprise earlier today when he was informed of today's potential victory for him, being number 300. A nice round number for him. I don't want to say nonplussed, but worried about other items. I would think, though, that this would be a really nice way to earn that 300th win against your in-state rival. July 4th, big crowd, 43,000 plus here tonight. It's been a battle. Rangers started it with a 4-0 lead. Astros have come back, and now a handful of scoreless innings as we go back and forth. And the 1-1, Springer shoots it out to right field. Going back on it, Mazzara near the wall. Reach up and make the catch. And that will end the inning. Springer just missed. And he cannot believe it. Now the Rangers, bottom of the 9th inning. And a chance to win it thanks to some good defense by Nomar Mazzara.
Arlington Chew with the big home run in the 3rd inning. And then we saw Rougned Odor, big double down the right field line. That was one that drove in a run. Then Josh Reddick went deep to right field against Mike Minor. And then we saw Gurriel take Minor deep as well. And it has been a tight one here. 4-4, and we're now headed to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rangers going to try to walk this thing off.
Elvis Andrus leads things off, and he takes high for ball 1. Andrews, Nomar Mazzara, and then jerks in Profar. McHugh out for his 3rd inning of work. 1-1 the count. trying to hold up, did he? Yes. Jeff Kellogg, crew chief, down at first base. It's 2-1.
Take a look at Elvis here from the side. Good breaking pitch down, and he did indeed hold up and not outright that pitch.
Two and two. Elvis pops this one up. Foul territory. And playable, but Fedorovich couldn't hold on to it.
You mentioned earlier some of the back and forth between Fedorovich and Garrett Cole. So maybe a little bit of a frustrating night. And we've also talked about how tough these pop-ups can be. That was a strange one. It didn't get very high. We've seen a lot of guys do this right here, which is switch over to the basket catch because they're not comfortable with where they have their glove positioned on some pop-ups. And there's been adjustments that have had to be made. And it's been a difficult night, especially the second half of this game once balls have gotten in the air.
Inside, it's a full count. Elvis, 7 for 21 in his career against McHugh. Pretty decent numbers. And he has worked this count full. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. McHugh to a scoreless 7th and a scoreless 8th. High pop-up, third base side. Bregman should have a play, and he does. So 1 out. All right, looking ahead to tomorrow. Opening game of the series in Detroit. Our Ford probables. Giovanni Gallardo, very good his last time out against the White Sox. And Rangers will get a look at Matthew Boyd making his 5th career start. And the Rangers have handled him well over the years. 1-4 with a 5.53 ERA. Pre-game tomorrow starting at 5:30 Central Time here on Fox Sports Southwest. And 1 out, Mazzara. Ball's off strike 1. Nomar's the 9th batter that McHugh will have faced tonight. 4 for 13 against McHugh for a 3.08 average. And he takes down the middle, 0-2.
Nomar, 3 strikeouts tonight. He's only had 1 4-strikeout game in his career. That was against the Houston Astros last June. Trying to avoid that here as he's down 0-2.
Wouldn't chase. Ball and 2 strikes on Mazzara. He struck out 3 times tonight. 0 for 4. The other time was a fly ball to left. Generally speaking, he's been swinging the bat well for an extended period. But if you want to look at it, you know, the most recent couple of games, he was 1 for 8. Last 2 contests coming in. So possible that he is falling into a little bit of a scuffle here. 1 for, I guess, his last 12 counting tonight. But he has been among the league leaders in RBIs all year. His 55 RBIs, currently 10th in the league. And very productive in that 3rd spot in the order. And with 15 home runs, well, he's shown more power, at least at a faster rate this year than in his first 2 years in the big leagues. Reaches out, slaps this one to the left side, but Bregman, playing more of a shortstop position, throws him out, and they're 2 away.
Well, nobody shifts more than the Houston Astros, but Alex Bregman, as you mentioned, is pretty much standing right in the standard shortstop position, even though he is a 3rd baseman. And I think we have seen teams adjust based on the recent trends for Nomar Mazzara, which he has been hitting some ground balls in that spot, especially with runners in scoring position. That's part of the shifts as well. It's not just taking the data and running with it for the year. You got to adjust in season, and certainly the Astros, who shift more than anybody else, just did that against Mazzara.
Profar takes a strike. Jurickson has been on 3 times tonight. A couple of hits, also been hit by a pitch. And has scored 2 of the Rangers' 4 runs. Hits this ball well out to center field, but Springer has a beat on it. The inning is done. So free baseball on Independence Day. We go to the 10th inning, tied at 4.
In 1976, when 2 protesters rushed the field at Dodger Stadium to set an American flag on fire, outfielder and Marine Corps Reserve officer Rick Monday rescued Old Glory at the last second.
Yeah, that's one of those great moments, historic moments that lives on in baseball lore and will for a long, long time. Always fun to see Rick Monday. We did earlier this year out in LA. We'll see them again later on this summer when the Dodgers come here. We go to the 10th inning, a 4-4 ball game, and Chris Martin, who was optioned out yesterday, activated today, and he comes in the 10th inning to face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Houston.
Yeah, pretty amazing, right? You get optioned down, have that meeting with the manager yesterday, and then you're pitching in the big leagues the very next game. You saw that pitch arsenal for Chris Martin. He's got a good arm, and he's shown it this year. He's done a pretty good job for the Rangers.
No, his job, keep this a 4-4 game. Bregman reached a couple of times tonight, a walk and a hit. And Martin's first offering a little low. Speaking of Rick Monday in the Dodgers, the last extra innings game the Rangers played was in LA on June 13th. The ball game they lost 3-2 in 11 innings. 2-0 the count. There haven't been many of those this year for the Rangers because largely in extra innings they've been really good, a 6-2 record. I was contending at the early part of the year that really that should be their strategy. Play longer games. They got to go 11, 12 innings. Then you just beat everybody into submission.
I think that would kind of fall under that same category we were talking about earlier, which is just swing at the first pitch.
Yes.
Because the numbers have been so good.
3-1 the count to Bregman. The last time the Rangers played an extra innings game here That was back in May, late May, against the Kansas City Royals. They beat the Royals 4-3 in 10 innings on May 26th. Now big pitch for Chris Martin right here. And it's fouled away, full count.
One of the things you can count on with Chris Martin is he's going to fill up the strike zone. He's walked just 3 batters this year in his 24 innings of work over those 27 games. That's good for a 1.1 walk per 9 rate. Pretty incredible. Strikeout rate just under 8, so right around league average on the swings and misses, but elite level on the walk rate.
Payoff pitch, ground ball, shortstop, long throw for Andrews, but he gets it there in time. Bregman retired, 1 away.
Second baseman Jose Altuve.
So now Jose Altuve, 0 for 4 so far tonight. Hitless, in fact, in 8 at-bats in this series. The Rangers have really handled him well. The Astros have a losing record in extra innings games this year. They are 2-4. Now this is a head-to-head matchup between these two guys that has definitely favored Altuve. 4 hits and 5 at-bats against Martin. Hooks this one fouled, even the count of 1-1.
But he had a strikeout, right? Did he not strike out Jose Altuve? Was that his first strikeout? Is that on there? Chris Martin's
first strikeout?
Yeah.
I don't.
Did he strike out Jose Altuve or no? Is that on there? Made that up? So I also have a bad record in extra innings.
One.
But if you're going to make stuff up, I mean.
Well, that would be a good one.
Yeah. Tell people you struck out Jose Altuve.
Well, maybe you'll do it right here. Just sort of take you off the hook.
Be up for that. Certainly a tough part of the lineup here for Chris Martin. Think about pitching in extra innings. Having to go 2, 3, 4 through the Astros. No easy task.
2-1. It's fouled away, so he's close.
So we talked about this last night with Jose Altuve. Just saw it on that swing, that little scissor kick with his back leg, the way that his right leg kicks out. I read up on it a little bit more today. He was talking about how he watched Miguel Cabrera do it and kind of picked up on it there a little bit, trying to study the best hitters in the game. And he said once he started trying it, it just kind of stuck and worked, and it really helped as he was adding power to his game. It's certainly not easy. Something for Jose Altuve that has really taken him to another level.
He hits this one sharply up the middle. That's a base hit. So Altuve is on here in the 10th inning.
You get a look at the swing here of Jose Altuve. Watch the back leg. Kicks out just a little bit, gets it up in the air as he hits this ball hard right back up the middle. And the thing we talked about yesterday, and kind of what then heard him talking about in some of the research, was it just really helps him not pulling off the ball, which totally makes sense. It's pretty difficult to rotate kind of horizontally if you have that back foot up in the air the way that he does as he's swinging. So it keeps him upright a little bit more and spinning off less. But I don't think, we talk about it, it's pretty advanced. I would not recommend taking that to your 10-year-old. Oh yeah, just let's do the scissor kick as I'm getting ready to. That could get ugly fast. Yeah. That's something where he was a good hitter first, and that was a little something that he started adding to his game after he was already in the big leagues. And it's a pretty advanced tweak, and not very many guys do it even at the big league level.
He's on the 1-strike pitch to Gurriel. It's 0-2. Gurriel's had a pretty good night so far tonight. The home run, the double. He's scored a couple.
Made the note earlier when he led off the second inning. There was it was nice to have him leading off an inning instead of batting with somebody on base in front of him. Whoa, that one got him, and Martin just lost control of it. You can see he went down in a heap himself.
Let's see. I wonder if he slipped off the mound the way that he reacted after this. Let's take a look here on the replay of what happened with Chris Martin and this pitch. Watch the back leg. That really looked like maybe, if anything, maybe his spike got caught, because you certainly don't see Chris Martin follow through and fall down like that. So don't necessarily see him slipping. Now, if you look at his land foot, you can see it kind of rotated a little bit toward first base, and so it might have been the way that he landed that caused this to happen. And you see with all the protection that Gurriel has on that left arm, none where the ball hit him. It looked like it caught him on the forearm.
So Gurriel, after a little examination, will be escorted down to first base. 2 men aboard. And that is a costly hit batter, as it puts Altuve into scoring position now for Evan Gattis. And Gattis has had a measure of success against Martin in his career. 5 for 13 against him, a .385 average. Bouncer foul. Strike one. Well, the other possibility, of course, that he puts one on the ground and the Rangers turn another double play and get out of the inning. Top of the 10th, tied at 4. One and one. Martin, local product here from Arlington, pitching in front of family and friends every time he goes out there. Big spot on this 4th of July. 2 men on, and a turn and a throw into center field. Oh boy. Both runners trying to advance. A throw comes into second and everybody's safe. That's a throwing error on Martin, and it puts 2 runners in scoring position. And more importantly, it removes that possibility of a double play.
Take a look at this pickoff attempt by Chris Martin, and it was just yanked way left. They actually probably had a potential play on Jose Altuve as you see him scurrying to get back to first. You saw how badly Chris Martin missed with that throw. Doug Bokel comes out now and just wants to slow Martin down a little bit after falling off the mound, hitting Gurriel, and then that errant throw. You want to make sure the emotions are not kind of getting on that runaway train a little bit. You got to slow things down here, get back to what you're trying to do. It appears they'll still pitch to Gattis. Of course, you have the option of the intentional walk, loading the bases, maybe creating that force out at home, but more often than not, you do that before you would face the hitter.
Gattis, you look at this, 16 times he's come up with a runner at third base with less than 2 outs, and he's gotten him in 11 of those times. Well above league average. One ball, one strike. Infield in. And this one foul. Strike 2, and Gattis may have broken his bat.
I think he did. It sounded like he did as he heads back to the dugout to get another one. And so now you got the 2-strike count. You got a pitch or 2 to play with here for Chris Martin. And is Gattis the only guy you've ever seen who goes and grabs a new bat after breaking it, just walks right back into the box? Doesn't go to the on-deck circle and put the glue stick on or grab some pine tar. I'm just going to go ahead and take my bare hands, take this new bat, and get right back in the box.
As I understand it, he chopped down that tree a little earlier today and
Shaved that thing down, got it into good play and shape. 1-2. This one hit hard out to center field. The Shields is there to make the catch. Altuve tags. Throw comes back toward the center with a diamond. Altuve will score. Sac fly by Gaddis. And for the first time tonight, the Rangers trail. It's 5-4.
Yeah, when you have that 1-2 count, you're going for the strikeout in that spot against Evan Gaddis. And so Chris Martin thought maybe he could elevate a pitch up and away, but couldn't get it by Gaddis, and he got a pretty good swing on it. It sounded pretty loud coming off the bat.
So now Reddick will be put on intentionally. That brings up Marwin Gonzalez. So Gurriel at third, moving up on the sac fly. Reddick at first now, and here is Gonzalez. Oh for 4 tonight. Runner goes from first. No throw offered. And now Reddick in scoring position. And he'll get a stolen base. Well, a funky 10th inning. Astros have taken the lead. Gonzalez thinking about bunting. 2-0. Did you see the deal last night on an intentional walk or an attempted intentional walk where the plate umpire would not allow it?
I did not see that.
This was the weirdest thing last night. I'm going to have to look this up. I want to say it was the Reds last night. Trying to put somebody on intentionally. And
umpire thought it was a bad strategy.
Yeah, I was like, I don't agree with that. I'm not going to let you. Yeah, Jim Riggleman was trying to intentionally. Well, he was down by 4 in the 12th inning. And now, speaking of intentional walks, Gonzalez is put on, so the bases are loaded. Anyway, Riggleman signaled that he wanted the intentional walk. And Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, said, you know, no. And Riggleman came out and was like, what are you talking about? You know, kind of lost it there for a moment on Cooper, got ejected.
Was there some kind of pitching change? Did the pitcher just come in?
I have no idea.
Of course, you always have to face a hitter. Can't imagine with the new intentional rules, walk rules, a couple of years now that we've been doing this, right? Where that should still count as a batter faced. So they didn't walk him. They would not allow.
No, I don't think so. He was, I mean, one strike pitch.
Leaving us hanging a little bit. More on that later.
Yes. Yeah. So 0-2 on Fedorovich. Gurriel at third, Reddick at second, Gonzalez at first. A hit batter, 2 intentional walks. But a run across here in the 10th inning. Martin needs just one more strike to give his team a shot in the bottom of the 10th. 0-2. This will be the 25th pitch of the inning now for Martin. Oh, this is not a good sign. Kevin Harmon, we like him, good guy. We just don't like to see him coming out onto the field. The head athletic trainer, looks like he may have seen something.
I think Chris Martin's having some issues with the mound as well. There's been a couple of times it feels like that maybe his spikes have caught as he's landed. might be part of it, and that's what they're talking about. Even the reaction after that last pitch, I want to make sure that it's not an injury, that nothing is bothering him in these spots, and is it just the mound? But of course, whenever you're having that conversation, you got to make sure that you bring the trainer with you so it doesn't count as an official visit, because if there wasn't any kind of injury or anything else, because Doug Bocale had already been out there, you'd have to make a pitching change in that spot. We had the right calf issue earlier this year, had the forearm irritation. We had a couple of DL stints for Chris Martin, so that's probably part of it as well. You kind of check in and make sure there's nothing going on with that right calf or any kind of new injury.
1-2 pitch. Ooh, that one bounces well in front of the plate. Evens things up at 2-2.
A frustrating inning so far. The one-out hit by Altuve. Manny checking in on that bullpen. And Gurriel hit by a pitch. The error on the pickoff that put the two runners in scoring position and allowed Gaddis sac fly to get him in. Gurriel, Reddick, Gonzalez now out there. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Fedorovich. Two and a high fly ball, short right field. Mazzara angling over, and he's got it, and the inning is done. The Astros have taken their first lead of the night. However, we go to the bottom of the 10th. Rougned Odor to lead things off. Robinson Chirinos and Joey Gallo coming up. The 10th inning. How about these memorable moments on the 4th of July? Lou Gehrig's luckiest man on the face of the earth speech back in 1939. One of the all-time great moments. Nolan Ryan's 3,000th strikeout in 1980. Rags with his no-hitter on the 4th of July, 1983, Steinbrenner's birthday. And then, to me, one of the games I'll never forget was that 1985 Mets embrace. Didn't see it, but I remember being fascinated by that thing. A game that ended at 4 a.m. Fireworks went off. All those folks living near the ballpark calling the police, worried that there was a crime spree. 19 innings in a wild one. Ken Giles on here in the bottom of the 10th.
Game number 32. Good strikeout to walk ratio for Giles so far this season. Just 1 home run allowed, but he is now pretty much a co-closer with Hector Rondon. We mentioned this last night. Rondon has picked up 5 of the previous 6 saves for the Astros, but he pitched last night, and so it's Giles tonight for A.J. Hinch's club.
Odor leading things off.
Takes one high for a ball. You see the outfielders playing deep, and you see the new names. Reddick has moved over into left field, taking over for Kemp, who's out. Marisnik, new to the game, in center, and Springer pushed over to right field. Inside, 2-0. Now, Giles has been a little bit of an adventure at times for the Astros. And add some intrigue to this thing here in the 10th inning. He can be sharp at times, but when things get away from him, and sometimes when his emotions get the best of him, it can get away in a hurry. And his 2-0. Finds a corner, strike one. Odor disagrees.
Did it look like Rugi said, "Are you sure?" Never a bad idea to give the home plate umpire, and it's Quinn Walcott tonight, a second opportunity, and probably a pretty good case. As Rugi has worked so hard on that strike zone discipline, trying not to chase pitches out of the zone. I certainly would like to have seen that pitch called a ball, and I think he probably has a pretty good case.
Still a good hitter's count here. The 2-1 fouled away. You see that heat at 98 miles per hour.
Four-seam fastball, the velocity, as you just saw, it has been very good, but opposing hitters this year are hitting .373 against that Ken Giles fastball. So obviously the velocity is not what matters. Hitters have gotten a pretty good look, but on the flip side, the slider has been fantastic.
Fly ball center field. Marisnik, a couple of steps to his right. One away.
And I say that because, yes, it's a high batting average against the fastball, but the slider just .098 for Ken Giles this year. 18 of his 28 strikeouts have come on the slider.
One away. Robinson Chirinos. Double and a walk. Also struck out him and doubled up. 1 for 3 tonight. And he takes a high strike.
I didn't like that call, and understandably so. Robinson Chirinos has been behind the plate this entire game, and the high strike has not been called. We've seen a lot of fastballs at the top of the zone that looked like they were inside of our Fox tracks, just like this one, but they hadn't been called. And now here in the 10th inning, Robinson Chirinos frustrated that Walcott now is making that call.
0-2. Giles has 11 saves this year, an ERA over 4. Just the 1 home run and 3 walks allowed. Oh-2. Chirinos goes after one in the dirt. Mirovic moves it down to first, 2 away.
I just mentioned the slider and how it has been the finishing pitch for Giles this year, how successful that pitch has been. And after a high fastball, 2 high fastballs actually, you come back and you throw this slider that starts out in the strike zone but finishes well below the strike zone. And with 2 strikes, it's just so difficult to lay off that pitch.
Well, the Rangers are down to their final out. Bottom of the 10th, trailing by a run. Gallo up there, 0 for 4 tonight, and fouls off strike 1. Well, Joey could tie this game with one big swing, and he has done that plenty of times. So he takes one on the corner in a hole here, 0-2. And with 2 strikes now, Bregman, who was a little closer over at third base, moves out much nearer to the bag at second. That entire left side of the infield is open, but it doesn't matter. With 2 strikes, a pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss. So Giles with a tidy 10th inning. And he finishes this one off for the Houston Astros, who come back from a 4-0 deficit and win it 5-4 in 10 innings tonight. They take both games in this series. So that'll do it for tonight. Rangers hit the road. Astros headed home. Stay tuned. Rick Renner, Pudge Rodriguez, and Mark McLemore back, and they'll break it all down for you tonight. For CJ Nitkowski, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond. Thank you for watching. I invite you to stay with us. More Rangers coverage coming up right after this.